Just getting everything going. Give me 1 second here. Sorry. OBS crashed, which is happening more frequently now that I have this much stuff running on it. All right, we're live. All right, we got Jaden. Can't even grow a beard? I would take lack of being able to grow a beard and have a brain. What's up, Jaden?
How's it going?
It's doing all right. Did you see the mod chat?
There's nothing new.
Oh, I have a little bit of feedback from you. No, from what I said earlier. So we need to check it out.
Let me see.
All right, we're live. Sorry, I was out. I was kind of far away. I was like an hour away from the house, and I had to go do some stuff. And it started raining. And then I had to go find a car wash because I couldn't see out of the windshield very well.
That's interesting for the first day of summer.
Intermittently happening. Yeah, and it really hasn't been raining either. So. All right, let me fix the camera here. Boom. There we go. All right. We're live. If you guys want to go ahead and double tap the screen. Help get some people in here. If you guys are over on YouTube, hit that like button, comment, interact, help get some people in here. I've been working on a bunch of stuff. I do apologize. I have been very, very busy setting everything up. I ran into a ton of technical issues and stuff that I've had to troubleshoot in real time, and it's just been a nightmare of a week. It's probably going to take another week or more until I'm on schedule, so bear with me. I should have most of it done Tuesday, Wednesday. Good and ready to go. So, anyways, if you guys are over on TikTok, want to go ahead and double tap the screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here, would appreciate it. We're also over on YouTube Shorts. If you guys want to watch on your phone over on YouTube, it's the news dude over there, or the OK Hide channel over there. So,
all right. We got anybody?
He said he'd rather not be able to grow a beard than have a brain. He stated the obvious. What?
I don't know.
This dude's like,
invited him.
It's wild to me that like when we're talking about stuff, some people are living in an alternate reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like that world underneath the golf course where the Looney Tunes live in Space Jam. They inhabit some kind of subsection of that.
Yeah. Just goons. Cows rule. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the resub of the Prime for 21 months. Appreciate it. Add that to the sub goal counter. By the way, just to point out, when we are bringing in debates over onto YouTube, I want you guys to be aware the comment section over on TikTok is going to go off, as is the sub goal will not show up over there. So.
Anyone?
Ford plead guilty in $550 million USAID bribery scheme. So you mean the Biden administration identified $550 million worth of fraud and then brought charges? Is that what you fucking mean?
No.
When were those charges brought? Because I can tell you it wasn't since Trump's been in office. So you're telling me Joe Biden found $550 million that he saved in USAID. That wasn't Elon.
They seem to think that these things happen just because things are reported under a certain term. They happen because of a certain administration. But cases take longer than 6 months.
Kevin, appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to the performative, quote, hard workers who clocked in on Juneteenth just to be petty. Appreciate it. Thank you. I was trying to add that in the goal. Appreciate it for the sub over there. Thank you. If you guys want to sub again, appreciate it. By the way, if you guys want to watch the playbacks for a limited amount of time, they're going to be up over on the OK High channel. It won't be permanent like that. I'm trying to get the viewership up so I can monetize it. So if you guys want to watch, or you're going to watch playbacks and stuff, head over to OK High. You can watch them over there, all of them, just in vertical form. And yeah.
Man, pretty slow day today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All things considered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got some news stories. There's quite a bunch happening there, but...
Okay, we'll get into that in just a minute. I'm going to see if we can get some people in here. If you guys are over on YouTube again, hit that like button. Would appreciate it. I'm also working on getting out... over onto YouTube long-form content again. That should be coming in the next week or two. I just have to stack up debates. That'll take me a week or so, front load a bunch of debates, and then it should be good.
Okay.
So I'm moving to YouTube exclusively? No. Nope. I'm trying to figure out a way to mend them, but that's kind of the back end thing. Because this is usable for now. It's not the most important, but I am trying to find a way to get it up over onto TikTok Studio. The problem is that I might have to get a different computer, unfortunately, because OBS keeps crashing. So I'm kind of concerned that if I add in another platform, it's going to be a problem. OBS is having issues running this much stuff, at least on here, and it gets better support over on Windows. So we'll see. But if you guys want to double tap the screen, comment, interact, help get some people in here. If you guys want to sub, would appreciate it. Need to add in the sub stuff. I don't know where we're moving yet. I talked to Pickles yesterday. I have to go through and check. This is another thing I need to do. I need to go through and check to see which account it's going to be. It's probably going to be my main account. So, typical fragile. Is it like these are all bot accounts, right?
Pretty much.
Because they always add the same laughy cryy face on every single thing.
He's been invited.
Are they have to be bot accounts, and they never join, by the way. Yep. They never join. I don't think this person is debating. I think they joined on accident.
Yeah.
They never join. Anyways, if you guys want to go ahead and double tap the screen, comment, interact, we're sitting on the verge of World War III. Even though last year, or pretty much the entire time the war in Ukraine was going on, MAGA essentially was saying that we should go fight in Ukraine and go get drafted. So why are they not taking that stance?
How soon before they say
Iran?
liberals should be drafted?
Probably.
None of us want this.
This guy's a disabled Navy vet, and he's a Trumper. Enjoy your benefits being taken away.
Well, he's also not real.
Dark, appreciated, thank you. I know, yeah, he's also a bot. You could use StreamYard. Many religious debaters do. I was looking at Stream Elements, StreamYard. That's the other thing. I'm going to start writing this stuff down, because I was going to get some stuff for TTS so that you guys can talk and stuff. But I don't know how that's going to work, because I really need debate content. So I haven't really thought about it, but...
Why do these people come in here and say weird-ass shit? Can you be normal for one
fucking
day? Please?
Yeah. Like this guy that's stalking me. I don't know why he doesn't know this, but he's getting his information subpoenaed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's not clicking or registering. And I wonder, like, if I do get a payout on this lawsuit, I wonder if I could sue him.
I mean...
Because, like, when I pull it, there's, like, thousands of accounts.
Right.
Like, thousands of accounts. You know? I wonder. I've talked to my lawyer.
Yeah.
I've talked to my lawyer, because there are thousands of accounts this person's made.
This is an old
fuck,
Biden
it's this
war.
guy.
Yeah.
It's this guy again.
Who was this?
I don't know. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Don't start the debate yet. Don't start the debate. 1 second. Let me kill the air here really quick. Get ready. Just give me a second. Don't say anything. It's not like you're not in here all the time anyways. Oh, fuck. Just set up this. 1 second. Hopefully this doesn't crash OBS what I'm about to do. All right. What's going on? What's your take?
Yeah, so why does it matter that he made thousands of accounts?
What we're not going to do is we're not going to justify stalking. You'll immediately be banned off my live permanently.
Well, what makes you think he's stalking you?
Because he comes in on the same account or same similar accounts every single fucking day. Why don't you go ahead and mind your own business?
Okay, I just thought he was trolling you, but...
No. It's literally thousands of accounts. It's been going on for 3 years.
Okay.
Anyway, what are we debating?
What happened in New Wars?
What happened where?
The New Wars.
Wait, what?
Says it up on your header.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about no new wars?
Yeah. What New Wars?
Right. Okay, so what's your take? Because you guys said no new wars.
Yeah, there are no
You
wars.
said go fight in Ukraine.
There are no wars.
You'd rather our money go to Iran than help out homeless veterans? Remember you guys saying this stuff about Ukraine?
What do you mean? There's no war.
Not yet.
It won't
He already
be.
shot missiles at Iran once.
It won't be.
Remember when he unalived Soleimani?
Yeah. And?
Right. So what is? I don't understand what your argument is. Are you saying this is good, or just that it hasn't happened yet?
I'm just saying there's no new wars. So what's your stance? You're saying there is wars?
Well, there is,
Where?
in fact, a new war. Iran and Israel are fighting. Jammu and Kashmir were fighting.
Well, Pakistan and India were fighting, then Trump
Pakistan,
put an
India.
end to that, and he's going to put an end to the Iran.
No, he didn't.
Real quick.
He didn't actually. Pakistan said he had nothing to do with
Give
it.
it a couple weeks. No new wars.
Give it a couple weeks. Hold on. Pakistan said he had nothing to do with ending that.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
India said he did.
India did because they're trying to gain favor.
Oh,
He's
so
an
now
authoritarian,
they're only trying to gain
autocratic
favor,
regime.
right? So
What did he do?
one way, right?
Cool. What did he do?
He got them to come together at the table, sit down, and come up to an agreement.
Where'd you get that from?
Because that's what he did.
Where?
India.
Where?
That's what India said.
What did Trump do? Where's the evidence that he did anything?
He got them to sit down at the table together.
He got them to sit down at the table together?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you getting that from?
That's what India thanked him for.
Do you have a citation?
Yeah, they clearly said thank you.
I don't know
Donald
if you're
Trump
new to. I don't know if you're
peace.
new. I don't know if you're new to that conflict. By the way, that conflict's been going on since 1948. At various different points, they've gone to war and then stopped.
Well,
Better question: why did it spark a war when Donald Trump was in office? I thought people were supposed to respect him.
they do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So why is he talking about bombing Iran?
He isn't.
Yes, he. What? That's literally what they're contemplating,
Okay.
per the White House.
And your point?
I thought world leaders respected him.
They do. And that's what he's going to do. He's getting the
Then
job
why is
done.
he talking about bombing Iran?
Because he's getting the job done.
How is he getting the job done? He literally is the sole reason that they're this close to having nuclear weapons.
No, he's not.
Yes, he
No, he's
is.
not.
He pulled out of the nuclear deal.
Yeah, because it was a bad deal.
What was the deal?
It was a bad nuclear deal.
What was the deal? Well, here's the thing. They weren't about to have nuclear weapons when that deal was signed. And now they are. See how that works? So what was even in the deal? Do you know?
They already have nuclear weapons.
What was in the deal?
Again, you just don't want to believe it. That he didn't start
What was in
any
the deal?
wars.
Can you address what was in the deal? He
I
already
don't need
bombed
to, because
Somalia,
all I
so.
need to know is that no new wars. And
Yes,
that's
you
exactly what's
do.
happening.
You said
No
that
new
it was a
wars.
bad deal. You said so. My contention is that we had a deal set up. He pulled out of that deal. Iran started weaponizing their uranium, and they're closer now than they were then. They were years away then. He pulled out of the deal, and now they're days away.
Yeah, they gotta do it.
So what was bad about the deal? You don't know. You don't know. Someone told you to say this. This is what propaganda does to people.
It's not
You have no
propaganda.
idea why you believe this. Donald Trump is the sole reason that Iran is about to have a nuclear weapon. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He pulled out of the Iranian deal. They started weaponizing uranium. They went right back to work. He gave them no reason to not have nukes. He gave them every reason to say fuck it.
Well, at least he's not starting any wars, so he's good.
He already bombed Somalia.
Well, again, going by your header, no new wars. Does Trump start any new wars? No, exactly.
Did he bomb Somalia?
Did he start a war with Somalia? No.
He bombed
Did he
Somalia.
start a war? We're talking about wars.
Aren't you guys against?
Military,
Hold on, aren't you guys against
military
neocon?
occupation
Are you guys?
or intervention is different than wars. So did he start a new war? No. So again, your header makes no sense.
So it's different than war. So wait. So within, right? So wasn't your guys' contention that Biden was a warmonger? What wars did he start?
I never said that.
Jaden, do you have anything?
That's
This
the
guy's
reason
fairly
as to why you
sentient.
voted for Trump, though, was no new wars
That wasn't
over
why
the
I voted for him.
Democrats,
I
right?
voted for him because of immigration. Had nothing to do with that. What are you talking about?
Okay. So then no new wars is irrelevant then, right?
Yeah, I'm just going off your header, and your header clearly says no new wars. Well,
Yeah,
Trump didn't
because
start
that was
any
a
new wars,
sentiment that
so
was peddled.
neither did
That was a
Biden, but Trump didn't either. So there you go.
Okay, so that was a sentiment peddled by his supporters, and justification as to why they voted for him was no new wars. But you mentioned the Iranian nuclear deal. Can you tell me just any bit of information about that?
No.
Okay, so why was it bad?
Again, because it would have put power back in the hands of Iran.
It actually limited their power by reducing uranium enrichment capacity.
Do you forget to breathe often?
No. You okay?
I was
Are
about to
you?
ask the same thing to you.
Well, your header doesn't make any sense, but okay.
It makes perfect
Donald
sense.
Trump has
You're sitting up here
for
talking
Was
to
moving
called the
400
peace
people
candidate.
about no new wars when Trump didn't start any new wars. So it should
I
be the
said
end of the
Somalia.
TikTok.
Said Somalia. He's talking about going to war with
or
Iran. He was
or
talking
we
about
want to
taking over
change the
Greenland,
header.
Panama. He was talking about taking over Greenland, Panama, Canada.
Yeah, again, what new war? Canada's bankrupt,
Somalia,
so
Iran.
They're not bankrupt.
they are bankrupt.
There's a
Trudeau
war now
bankrupt
going
in the
on.
short 9 years. That was going to take 150 years to bankrupt.
How are
And
they
did it in 9
bankrupt?
years.
Can you describe bankruptcy?
Dude, the guy shut the economy down and borrowed $2 trillion. He's
Okay,
absolutely
yo,
disgusted.
can you describe how they're bankrupt?
Let's see. They can't even afford the interest on the principal
What does that mean?
of the interest or the current debt that they owe because
owe
he
more.
decided to shut the economy. Their prime minister decided to shut the
We
economy
owe
down and
more
borrow
debt.
$2 trillion,
We owe
and
more,
they
though.
can't even afford the interest on it, which is $40 billion a year.
Neither can we. That's why Moody's downgraded our credit score. Did they downgrade Canada's?
Again, States has a lot more credit than Canada, but go ahead.
But you're saying that they are bankrupt.
Yes.
Just to clarify, really quick.
Uniform Commercial Code bankruptcy provisions. That's what they're
Are you
up
just
to.
Just
saying
to clarify,
words?
really quick, debt across the globe went up through COVID.
Correct, it did.
So, what's your argument?
That's not an excuse that Canada can't pay its interest, let alone the principal on its current debt. That's just pathetic. That's no way to run a country.
Debt to
That's
GDP
no way to run a
ratio of the
corporation.
U.S. is
Actually, let's face it, because every country.
the debt to GDP ratio was 123% at the close of the fiscal year of
Yeah, that's
2024 in the United
pathetic.
States. It was 110% in Canada. So Canada actually has less debt than we do per GDP or to GDP.
That's pathetic.
So are you.
No, if I was running the corporation, it wouldn't have
The
a
corporation.
deficit.
Oh, really
Right.
quick. I'm gonna look this up really quick. Go ahead, Jaden.
Right here, Canada is not bankrupt. Bankruptcy in a national context typically refers to a country's defaulting on its debt obligations or being unable to meet financial commitments. Canada's economy, while facing challenges, does not meet this threshold based on available data and expert analysis. Canada maintains a strong credit rating with agencies like Moody's, S&P's, and Fitch assisting its AAA or AA plus ratings, indicating low default risk.
Yeah, we
The
know
federal debt,
after
excuse me, just a
2008,
second,
that's
just a
the
second, just a
clickbait.
second, just a second, just a second. The federal debt to GDP ratio, a key indicator of fiscal health, was approximately 46.5 in 2024, among the lowest in the G7. While gross debt is projected to rise, Canada's ability to service its debt remains robust due to stable tax revenues and access to global bond markets. I like it when it's quiet.
I just want to point this out. In a Tuesday phone call, India's Modi told Trump that the U.S. did not play a role in de-escalating tensions between India and Pakistan. So you're wrong. Nutcracker, appreciate it. Wells, appreciate it. Thank you. I'll read those out in just a minute.
All right, are we done?
Well, are you going to
guess
change
so.
the header?
Oh.
You should change the topic.
No.
Wouldn't
Still
that make
holds.
more sense?
Why?
Because there's no new wars.
We've already been over this.
Yeah, and there aren't. We agreed.
When did we agree to that?
We agreed Donald Trump nor Biden started any new wars.
This is a new
Therefore,
conflict.
we should change the header.
No. How would you word it? No new bombs? Or no new intervention?
No, just
How about
What
Donald Trump as a
what happened-
warmonger? Is that okay?
no. What happened to? What happened to no? What happened to no new wars all around the world, or something? I don't
Okay,
know.
well that's not all that far off.
I know,
Anyways,
but
man,
it adds
you're
context.
honestly, man, you have the
Jaden, it
personality
adds
of a wet
context,
cigarette. So I think we're about done here. If you're
It adds
done, we're done.
context.
Not really. I think people can infer what we're referring to here.
Well, at least I won, because
Yeah, people who
There are
win
no new
debates
wars,
don't have to
so-
declare that they win. Do you want a trophy too?
yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, fuck off.
Yeah, that was painful.
We got other people in the
That was
box.
painful. All right. So if you guys are over on YouTube, the reason the chat's off is I'm trying to streamline making long form content for YouTube. So it'll go back on when we're not having debates, but when we're having debates, I'm going to leave it off so that it makes it easier for me. I can just record it, and then yeah. If you guys want to sub, by the way, we have a 30 sub goal for tonight. We started a little bit late. We have 2. If you guys want to sub on TikTok, it is 2 subs. And if you guys want to sub over on YouTube, it's 1 unless it's a higher tier. And you can give subs as well. So trying to keep the platform up and running. I'm making a bunch of different changes, stuff I've been working on. I've talked somewhat about it, but there's a lot going on in the background right now. It's been a crazy busy week. But if you guys want to support keeping this channel going and keeping information out there for everyone, I would appreciate it. Or gift sub. We got Bass. Kick his ass, sea bass.
Yellow. All right.
You guys hear me?
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. What's going on, Bass?
What's going on? How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing all right.
I'm doing all right. So, what's going on? What's your take?
Well, I support Trump. I supported him.
That's not what it says.
Oh, what happened in No New Wars?
There you go.
Are we in a war with Iran now?
We sure are.
Not officially.
Once we are, they're gonna change their tune real quick. This is the way it works, is that you guys do. What's going to happen is you're going like, and we see this all the time where you guys literally move the hell out of the goalpost. You're going, well, no new wars. Now he's talking actively about attacking another country. And you're like, well, it hasn't happened yet, but Republicans are cheering him on. Trump is actively considering it, which would be a new war. There's other conflicts that have emerged across the globe. And in this instance, you're trying to say, well, he hasn't done it yet. But when he does it, you're going to move the goalpost yet again and go, well, he had to do it or something else, whatever right-wing media tells you to believe. And then you run with it.
First of all, is Steve Witkoff meeting with the Iranian foreign minister this weekend to talk about a peace deal? Yes or no? The answer would be yes.
I have no idea.
So
what would the peace deal even be?
Another nuclear peace deal.
Where'd you hear that?
Why? What would that even look like?
Well, I don't know.
What would Trump offer? I mean, so first things first, what would Trump offer in that peace deal?
Probably sanction relief, or just prevent Israel from keep airstriking them. Something in that regard.
1 second. Okay, so sanction relief. I'm gonna write this down. Sanction relief. What else? What else do you think? What else do you think it would take to make an Iranian nuclear deal? Like give and take between us and them.
Well, I think that Iran isn't in the best position right now, because I think that they have no air superiority. I think that airstrikes are heavily damaging their infrastructure. So I think the peace deal would involve maybe some oil exports, maybe some frozen assets, I think. And then
1 second. Being some frozen assets, you mean being released?
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Again, I'm not sure. I think that this war with Israel, I think it can make a more.
Do you think like maybe we monitor their nuclear site? Like they have very real energy concerns, right? So we monitor their nuclear sites to make sure that they're not weaponizing uranium. Like after we get rid of the uranium they've weaponized or confiscate it, and they go back down to 20%, which is what they is considered to be like a safe threshold.
Maybe. I don't know exactly.
I mean, would that sound like a good deal, though? Like review their sites, send in inspectors?
Yeah, but would they still be allowed to fund terrorist groups like they were in the 2015 nuclear deal?
Actually, they weren't.
Well, they weren't allowed. They weren't allowed to do that. Like 20%.
Hezbollah and other Syrian intervention groups were not terrorist groups.
That's not what you said. That's not what you're asking. You said whether or not they were funding them through this deal, of which they weren't.
I'm not saying they were funding them.
Just a second. The reason why they were able to is because of the enrichment that they gained access to within weapons-grade uranium after the deal was torn up.
No.
Yes, that is how they were able to fund proxy groups. You enrich yourself with weapons-grade uranium, creating billions of dollars worth of surplus, That's how you're able to fund proxy groups.
So they,
I just want to point
so they
something
weren't
out.
funding.
Hold on, I just want to.
Okay, I'll let you go.
I just wanted to point this out. You said reviewed sites would be a good idea, having inspectors there. 20% uranium enrichment would be good. You said sanction relief for Iran would be good, and that they would be allowed exports for oil, and also that they would receive frozen assets by the U.S. government. Is that all correct?
Yeah, again, I don't know the exact details of the thing, but
Cool. I just want to point out to you
that
that is the 2015.
what was wrong with the 2015?
Wait. That is the 2015 nuclear deal.
Yes, but what did I say that was wrong about the 2015 nuclear deal? They were still
You
funding
said that it funded.
groups, and we couldn't.
Okay, can you show me where the deal allowed them to do that?
The money they got from oil exports and the money they got from frozen assets. Yes, that's where you can infer.
So how are you going to stop them from funding it?
Well, we had to pull out of the 2015 nuclear deal because we had to put sanctions on it. So maybe this deal, you could say, we'll have sanction relief, but if you start funding terrorist groups, then we can implement the sanctions again.
Then they're going to start enriching uranium.
Well, then you're going to have a maximum pressure campaign. I don't know. You have to make the deal so they don't fund it.
Well, Trump pulled out. I mean, this is the thing, is that you're telling me everything that you're saying, except, wow, they were allowed to fund terrorist organizations. Everything you're saying was in the 2015 nuclear agreement.
But they, in the
And then
Everything
some.
that you're saying. And you're saying, and then you're saying they're supposed to remove this stuff, right? And then you're saying they're supposed to, we're supposed to re-implement this stuff that Trump backed us out of, and somehow miraculously make them not only follow through with this, despite the fact that they almost have weapons-grade uranium, follow through with this, but also not fund other groups. Otherwise, it goes back to the way it was under Trump, and how'd that turn out? So if they don't agree to this, if you're saying the one stipulation is that they can't fund these groups, then it would, and they deny that. They're like, no. Then it would go back. It would go back to the way it was under Trump, right?
do you think Iran's in a good position right now?
It's Iran.
I'm just asking you, if they don't do it, they're just going back to what Trump had,
Well,
right?
you don't know if they're not.
Which allowed them to weaponize uranium.
We don't know if they're going to do it. I think that they would take the deal. If you add some precautions that don't allow them to fund terrorist groups, and you make a new nuclear deal that prevents Iran from funding terrorist groups, that has to be in the new deal. They shouldn't be allowed to fund terrorists.
Okay. They say no, then what?
Then I don't know. Then I guess we're going to have to continue this campaign. But
So basically, so really quick, just to point out, we had this set up so they didn't have nukes.
yes.
Trump backs out of this deal, right? And by the way, they weaponize uranium to in high 60s now. I think they literally weaponize it to 69%. 70 is weapons grade, which they can do
90.
at a moment's notice. They can weaponize it. Right. They can weaponize it. And so Trump backed out of this deal. And now you're saying that he should re-implement the deal, but they can't fund terrorist groups.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to fund.
And now they're going to have weapons grade or near weapons grade uranium. So what was the point of backing out of the deal?
Because
Why didn't he just offer that as a stipulation? Say you need to stop funding these groups.
because Iran probably didn't accept that. But they would accept it now.
So then why would they accept it now?
Because they're under maximum pressure. That's why they would accept it.
Maximum pressure
They were
what?
under it then.
What is maximum?
They're under attack.
I don't
What do you
understand.
mean, what maximum pressure? They're under attack and they have U.S. threats against them. What do you mean, what maximum pressure?
They're under attack, sure, but then what? So you take out their nuclear site and they start again. Then what? By the way, it's not going to stop them. Taking out their nuclear sites not going to stop them. Taking out all their nuclear sites will not stop
What if
them.
you kill the regime? What if you kill the Ayatollah? Is that not going to stop them either?
Doesn't matter. No.
So bombing the nuclear sites is not going to stop from nuclear weapons from being made.
If Iran were to bomb the White House,
Iran
would it
does not have
stop
the capability.
democracy? I'm not saying that, but would it stop democracy? Would it stop the Trump agenda? No. They would just put someone else in there that's a Trump supporter.
Okay, but if Iran bombed a farm, would that stop the crops from being planted? Yes. It would, like, what are you talking about? It's a different scenario. If you bomb the
No, it's
nuclear
not.
facilities and they don't have operational nuclear facilities, they're not going to be able to produce nuclear weapons.
They will. They'll be able to produce them.
Wow.
And guess what? Next time they build these sites, they're not going to be touchable.
So you're just going to build them further underground?
Probably.
So then you just create another Buster bunker bomb. I mean, I don't know what you're full of hypotheticals. If you bomb the nuclear plants and it prevents them from building nuclear weapons, I mean, your hypothetical, which to make a nuclear plant takes 3 to 5 years. It's a complicated thing to do. But your thing is,
I'll think
okay,
all
well,
of you guys in just a second.
we bomb the nuclear plants. We prevent them from making nuclear weapons. Oh, well, they're just going to build one deeper. That's your whole point. Your whole point is just, like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what's the long-term solution to this? They're going to weaponize uranium. They know how to do it. They have the infrastructure to do it. They're just going to start again at a different site. They'll go deeper. You get a couple of years, and then what?
But under those years,
you pissed them off. You're going to be dealing with, by the way, if you do end up bombing them, you're going to be dealing with more funding to these proxy groups.
It would be more funding. It's less funding because there's maximum sanctions on them, and they're not allowed to have oil exports.
They did everything that they did with sanctions on Iran. Sanctions on Iran have been staggering, and were staggering under Trump, and they kept weaponizing. It did not stop them.
Yeah, they can. Okay.
They have China. They have Russia. They have a bunch of Axis powers that they could go to.
How's their proxy groups doing now? Would you say Hezbollah is in a favorable position right now? Would you say Syria?
I don't know what you mean by favorable position. They don't need a lot of favorable position to do an incredible amount of damage.
Since 2015, since Trump pulled out a nuclear deal, Hezbollah, the Houthis, Syria's government got overthrown, which was a pro-Iranian government. Since Trump pulled out of the nuclear deal in 2015, all of Iran's proxies got significantly weaker.
Were you not just arguing that they were funding them after the agreement was torn up?
Yeah, they were, but since Iran has sanctions on them and they're not allowed to have oil exports, they don't have more money to fund these groups.
Based on what exactly?
What do you mean based on what? Oil exports, frozen assets?
You're arguing that they have less money than they did prior to the deal?
Yes.
How are you quantifying that?
Because oil exports, not allowed to export oil, which is the biggest trade resource. They have less money to trade. They have their economy is at a worse off position.
Their economy was in a bad position, and they weaponized nukes. I don't know how much you think it costs to fund these proxy groups, but even with sanctions, their GDP was like 150 billion.
Yeah,
they don't need that much money. Even with sanctions, they were funding these groups, and you're just saying this is like this is just a fact.
True, though. Look at their proxy groups since 2015. They got significantly weaker. Like, you can't even argue against that.
I don't know that they have. The Houthis are now operating drones. They're disrupting shipping routes. They're disrupting American military installations and American carriers, and the list goes on in the Red Sea.
When's the last time the Houthis shot down a ship?
I don't know, but that doesn't mean that they're not causing problems.
They're causing
it's not causing problems. They're attacking Saudi. They're attacking Saudi oil storage. They're doing a whole bunch of damage. I don't want to argue with you. Your whole argument here doesn't make any sense, and you're trying to say, well, they got weaker. Prove it. I don't even know what that means. If anything, by the way, in Yemen...
This is funny. The last reported Houthi attack on a ship was December 1st, 2024, when it claimed to have targeted 3 commercial vessels.
Okay, so it's been basically 6 months.
There's the goalpost shift.
It's been 6 months. What was their peak at? 2015.
What do you mean by peak? You said when was the last one?
Since 2015. They've taken over more of Yemen. I don't understand what your argument is here.
You're going to say the Houthis are stronger in 2025 today than they were in the past?
I don't know that they're weaker.
They are.
But regardless,
even let's just use...
then if they're weaker, dude, then if they're weaker, what's the point of writing that into the deal? Why did Trump have to end the deal if it didn't matter anyways?
Well, it does matter since Iran...
How does it matter?
Because the deal...
You're saying they're weaker. You're saying they're weaker. So very clearly what we were doing was working. But also, we should back out of this deal so that they can weaponize uranium and get nukes. I don't understand what your logic is here.
After we backed out of the deal, because
they got weaker. Where are you getting that from?
Because Iran, right, cannot export oil, which is their biggest export, and they have maximum.
No, they export oil. No, they export oil. They absolutely do.
But there's heavy sanctions.
There's issues that happen. By the way, when we sanction oil, it doesn't affect a lot of the world. It just affects us, because China still trades with them. Other countries will still trade with them.
With our currency.
That's fine. Well, no, they can still trade with the currency. No, they can still trade with the currency. I don't know that they do, though. I don't know what currency they trade in. Yeah, why would they not be able to trade with the U.S. dollar?
Because of sanctions.
So?
They're not permitted.
They don't need to. It doesn't matter. They can trade it in any form of currency. I don't know why this matters. You're telling me that Trump backed out of this deal. You're telling me Trump backed out of this deal, handed them nuclear weapons. We got nothing for it. And now you're saying that something that he could have offered them, back in when he pulled out of the deal in 2017, that he could have offered it to them 8 years ago, and he didn't do it. And at no point as he talked about it, he didn't bring it up before he ended the sanctions. Before he started the sanctions. So what are you even arguing here? Like, we didn't get anything for backing out of this. You're telling me that, like, well, we should tell them that they need to not do this. And then what?
You don't think that?
Why? If that would have worked, why would that matter?
Why would what matter?
They're like, oh, they're maximum pressure. I don't know if you know this, but Iran's military is formidable.
I'm not.
They've invested in a lot of tech that we didn't. They've also taken our tech, by the way, and reverse engineered it.
Okay, but Iran would get completely destroyed in the air. What are you talking about? They can't even get air support.
And then what? And then what? You have a country of, what is it, 150 million people?
90 million. Not 100.
You have a country of 90 million people that don't have any sort of leadership?
Look, I'm not for going to war in Iran. I'm not, but at the same time, you can't allow Iran to be funding these terrorist groups. You cannot allow them to fund.
I think I'm going to be so for real with you, dude. I don't know why in your mind them having a nuclear weapon is not more severe than them funding these groups. Like, how does that logic make sense? You're so concerned about the Houthis not having drones that you want Iran to have nukes?
It's not just the Houthis, it's multiple terrorist groups. But I don't want terrorist.
Who cares?
I don't want terrorist attacks. I don't know. I think that terrorist.
Do you think that the Iranians are terrorists?
Not the civilians, but the government.
The government.
Do you think that their government is? You want a terroristic government to have nukes, so that the Houthis don't have drones.
Okay, but can we bomb the nuclear facilities before they have nukes? Yes or no?
We could.
Yes.
It's not going to stop them.
Your whole thing's a hypothetical that, first of all, to make a...
It's not a hypothetical. This is what the reports say. The reports are concise and clear on this. Us bombing their facility, us destroying their facilities, will not stop them from acquiring a nuke.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Based on what? Based on what?
What do you mean based? If they don't have nuclear facilities?
You don't think they don't have redundancies? You don't think that they're currently setting up other operational camps?
Yeah, but
stuff we don't even know about.
We would see the construction and also intelligence too.
Or
we
wouldn't.
We would see.
We might not. We might not.
I actually think that we would have intelligence, or we'd have satellite images of the construction, and the build a whole nuclear plant. I still think Iran is still 6 to 12 months away. Our intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, said they're still many months away from enriching uranium.
I don't know what she's looking at, because that's not what the reports are showing.
So you don't.
Even Trump said he distrusted
and they haven't
her.
been.
He said today that he didn't trust his intelligence.
That's probably a tactic for maximum pressure. You don't trust Tulsi Gabbard's report?
Why does he keep saying
I don't trust Tulsi
pressure?
Gabbard.
I gotta read these off in a second. I appreciate it, guys. I'll read it in just a second. I'm sorry I'm behind.
So you think that it was okay for Iran to fund these terrorist groups?
Where the fuck did anybody say that?
So if we have sanctions,
You think it's okay that Iran
I
gets
just
a
to
nuke,
point
right?
out,
Okay.
Yes? Because you don't want the Iranian nuclear deal?
I think the Iran nuclear deal in 2015
It's
needs to be
Iran.
changed. Iran. It needs to be changed. I don't think it is favorable to us.
The only thing that you've said is that they need to stop funding these proxy groups. If the alternative is them funding proxy groups or them having nukes, what would you rather have?
But I don't think they would have nukes because we'd bomb the facilities.
What should they rather have? What would you rather them have? Be funding these proxy groups or have nukes?
Again,
This is a no-brainer.
no.
I mean, this is a no-brainer. But the problem is it derails your entire argument.
No.
So I wouldn't want to
I
answer
get,
it
I
either.
get your point, but I don't know. I feel like the Iranian government, yes, with the nuclear weapons, horrible, and yes, that'd be bad. But also, I feel like these proxy groups are more dangerous, and that they're more unpredictable, and that
Then a nuke?
yeah, I trust the Iranian government more than I trust Hezbollah.
With a nuke? That's crazy.
Would you rather have
Dude.
Hezbollah?
Dude, nobody believes that. I'm gonna be real. Jaden, do you believe that?
No.
Nobody believes that. I don't believe that.
But I
Nobody believes
I
that.
don't think Iran would.
That's just you posturing. That's just posturing. Nobody believes that.
I don't think Iran. We would prevent Iran from getting a nuke. We'd go in and we'd bomb the facilities before they get a nuke. I think that's what we would do. I don't think that we.
So now you want war. So it is war.
But
It's
I
fine
think
now.
that we are in a favorable position right now to create a.
I just want to point out. The entire reason we're in this position is because of Trump.
No, this started on October 7th. This started on.
It predates
No.
that.
Okay, it predates that. We can agree that it predates that, but it's not because of Trump's fault. It's not because of the nuclear deal that
I mean,
happened.
the situation we're in
No, it
now
is
has
Trump.
to do with that.
No.
Yes, it was preventing weapons-grade uranium falling into the hands of the Iranian government. They were able to enrich themselves post the removal of that deal.
Okay, and I have a question for you. How long did the key restrictions?
Do you want to acknowledge that?
No. My thing's dealing with the deal. How long was the key restrictions for them enriching uranium? Was it a permanent deal?
It was 15 years.
10 to 15.
Yeah.
And it's been
Better than what we got
It's
now.
been 10 years now, and do they have
Mhm.
it? It's been 10 years, and I have a
Well,
question.
the
for
deal
you.
doesn't exist now.
Well, yeah,
It
but
lasted 3 years.
Trump pulled out of
the
it.
deals would all.
So they would have had it. They would have been capped at 20% enriched uranium now, as opposed to near weapons grade.
And the IAEA monitoring system would have still persisted.
Yeah, but only for 5 more years.
No. That was longer term.
How
So
long?
past that duration is not definite, but there were plans, there were stipulations to keep that in place.
So you guys are crying about this deal that's not even permanent. It's not even
Well,
permanent.
you are.
Yeah, I think the deal was bad.
You're just saying that it was better and would not have put us in the position that we're in now. There could have opened up an opportunity for diplomacy, for renegotiations, for expanding it with our allies, with the mediators that were involved, like South Korea. I'd say that was more likely than just allowing them to have a nuke.
But negotiations would never happen after October 7th, though. You do know
October 7th wouldn't have happened.
that. October 7th wouldn't have happened if the Iran nuclear deal was still around.
Well, this is all conjecture. We cannot say one way or another, but you're saying that it would.
Yes, the October 7th would still happen if the Iran nuclear deal was around.
So why?
What do you mean why? Because
I'm just asking, why would it still have happened?
the same problems in Gaza would still persist. That's why. I don't think the Iran nuclear deal had anything to do with. You call it H group, right? You have to say H group on TikTok. I don't think that would stop H group from its attack in October 7th.
But again, this is conjecture. You don't know that.
No, but I'm like pretty sure about that. Like I'm 99.
Based on what, though?
Because the whole reason why the October 7th attack happened were completely different reasons than Iran's nuclear deal. It's the same thing as saying, like, oh, if Pearl Harbor didn't happen, would 9/11 happen? or something. It's just completely.
This is such a stupid argument.
No, well,
this is such a profoundly.
Well, that's what
stupid
Jaden's saying. Jaden's saying, how do you know October? You think October 7th would happen if we were still in the Iran nuclear deal?
argument. I don't know. I know it didn't make it better.
Okay, so
I know it didn't make it better.
So my argument is, since October 7th, Iran would not have came back.
Yeah, dude, the idea that you would want Iran to have nukes versus Hezbollah or whoever having drones is wild, and nobody believes that. That's just a posture. That's a stupid posture. If you're that concerned about the nuclear facilities that you need to go through the hassle of bombing them, then why didn't Trump rewrite the deal and say you can have nukes, just no funding of anyone?
Because they wouldn't take the deal. They wouldn't agree to the deal. But they were more likely to agree to the deal today, since Israel has full air superiority, since Israel's power.
Is that not what I said? Israel has full air superiority is crazy. It's crazy. You know who's going to fund Iran?
Who?
China.
China's going to fund Iran.
Russia.
Russia's already said that they won't.
China's already running to their defense.
What has China supplied?
What has China supplied so far? Couldn't tell you. Don't know if they have supplied anything, but they started supplying stuff to Russia. You don't think they're going to supply stuff to Iran?
Well, was it the Chinese government supply?
And you can say, well, they have such air superiority, whatever. Who gives a shit?
What do you mean, who gives a shit?
Who cares? What are they going to do? What are you going to destabilize the entire region again? Take out the entirety of the government, destroy infrastructure, send 90 million people into starvation?
No, I'm against that, and I honestly, we're gonna come back here. I'm gonna join this panel.
This is like,
no, I'm gonna join this panel.
You don't even know what you want out of this.
I'm gonna join this panel.
You don't even know what you want out of this. Dude.
I'm gonna join this panel in 2 weeks, and you guys are gonna be like, when there's a new nuclear deal, I'm gonna join.
Yeah, listen, stop talking. You're not gonna come back. We hear this time and time again. Every single Republican that says they're going to come back and gloat has never shown up and proved themselves right. Ever.
No.
Ever.
If we,
you're not going to be the odd man out.
If we get dragged into a war with Iran, I will come back and I will formally apologize.
No,
That's how confident I am. I will.
That's what you're saying that we want. That's what you're saying that we. That's I don't. It doesn't. Nothing you're saying makes sense.
We are gonna get.
Nothing you're saying makes sense. It's like you want the Iranian nuclear deal the way it was, but you want them to not fund groups. And what if they say no? Then what? Well, we could bomb them. But you're against war, so I don't understand. What is it? You don't even know what you want. The reality is, here's the situation. Okay, Donald Trump royally fucked the Middle East with this. He fucked the world. That's just the reality. He pulled out of this deal. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. It was against all advice from all international experts, all advice from the IAEA. It was literally, he just ignored everyone. And then he pulled out of this deal. They enriched uranium. They're near having nukes. And now he's in a predicament where he can't look like a war hawk and go to war with them, even though he really wants to. But also, he can't rejoin a nuclear deal. Why? Because Biden already tried. There's no leverage. There's no leverage whatsoever.
We have greater leverage.
We have no leverage of them.
We have greater leverage now.
Nothing. There's no leverage. There's no leverage. The only leverage you have is going to war with them, which you guys said you were against.
Yeah, that's good leverage, though. Iran would not want to go to the war with the U.S. We would destroy them. We would win the war.
What do you mean that's good leverage? So they say no, then your war hawks should go to war. Guess what? You blow up a few nuclear facilities, they start again, and in 2 years we're in the same spot with less leverage.
Trump does this genius he did it with North Korea. He did it with Syria, where you put maximum pressure.
He didn't do anything.
You force.
He didn't do anything with either of those. He didn't do anything with either of those.
Yes, he did.
He got nothing from either of those. No, he didn't. What did he get from North Korea?
Better relations. Tension.
I asked for something he got. I don't know if that's better
platitude.
relations because there's I don't know if you know this, but they're still threatening to bomb us. So I don't think that's better relations. Can you tell me something we actually got for it? They still have all of their nuclear weapons. They're still operating all of their nuclear sites. They have done nothing to change that, and they're still taking an antagonistic and attacking style of approach and diplomacy against the United States.
Since 2018, would you say tensions and relations have not gotten better?
No.
You think tensions are as high
No,
now?
no.
in
Can you tell me
2025
something tangible we've gotten? Can you tell me
We
something
got better
tangible, something you
relations.
can
Like, what
point
do
to and go,
you
we
mean?
got
No, be
this.
specific,
Better
man.
relations isn't a thing.
Or
They continued to shoot missiles. They continued their nuclear program. They didn't shut down any sites. They still have the same amount of
You're in
ICBMs.
such-
Matter of fact, they've been working on new ones since then. Hold on, they've been working on new ones since then. So what do I care about better relations? So what, he talked to them? They haven't done anything. What is that? What
sent
are
a
you
letter,
talking
Tommy.
about? Can you tell me something we got? Well, he said they exchanged. We got love letters
yeah,
for it.
and that's good.
Can you
That's
tell
good.
me what we actually got?
No, it's not.
Dude, I just want to ask one. Just so either we got something or we didn't.
We got better relations. That's a good thing. It
Okay,
doesn't always.
that's not a
It
thing.
doesn't always have to be a sustainable.
Listen, man, I'm gonna give you so you can either say it does have to be it does
No,
have
it
to be
doesn't.
something. You're
No, it
telling me he went there and got better relations, and they're doing all of the same shit that they were doing before.
But at
That's
least
what you're
they
telling
like
me.
us.
We went to North Carolina. Yeah, at least they like us, and now they want to bomb us. So maybe they'll put a smiley face on the nuke.
No,
you know,
no.
maybe that's
You're
just
in
a little
denial.
smiley
You guys
face,
are-
a little love Kim Jong
You guys are in
Un.
denial. In Obama's letter in 2016, he said North Korea is the biggest issue. Is North Korea? Do most Americans
They
see North
are.
Korea-
They are. What did we get? Listen. Relations is not a thing that you get, especially if you can't. Can you point to something that they changed?
They're less. They dreaded us less, and they're less, provocative when it comes to the U.S.
Have you been tracking it?
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time you heard about a North Korea threat?
Oh my God.
When's the last
North
time
Korea threat.
Who still mentions North Korea then?
What? That doesn't have anything to do with it. So we didn't get anything. I'm be honest. I'm about done with this. We got nothing, and you're trying to go. Well, we got better relations. They're doing everything that they did before. Yeah. So we didn't get anything for it. No, but we got better relations. At least we're on talking terms. Like what? It's like being on talking terms with your abuser. Like what? What is this?
Right here, the most recent explicit threat from North Korea against the United States was reported on April 16th, 2025, when North Korea threatened, quote, unspecified retaliation after U.S. flew B-1B bombers over South Korea during a joint military drill. Prior to this, July 13th, 2024, North Korea's defense ministry threatened to enhance its nuclear capabilities and make the U.S. and South Korea pay for, quote, pay an unimaginably harsh price. July 13th, 2024. The other one that I read was April 16th, 2025. In response to the U.S. South Korea. Okay.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You can finish up there.
Yeah. In response to the U.S. South Korea nuclear deterrence guidelines, which Pyongyang claimed signaled intent to invade. Pyongyang. Yeah. Well, there you go. I was just tired of it because he wasn't going anywhere. He's like, well, we didn't. Like, what do you want? I don't understand. You're advocating for everything that's in the nuclear deal, but saying that we should add this in, and if we don't, we go to war. But then that would be you're pro-war. But also, they're never going to agree to it. But we're in a good position. Why would we be in a good position? Internationally, the backlash that's going to happen against the United States if they do this is going to be swift. And it's not just going to be, by the way, from countries that are adversaries. It's going to come from our friends as well. So, all right. Oh.
Let me read off some thanks here. Nutcracker paid to kick. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Nutcracker? Nutcracker with the 30. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nutcracker. Dubs and drumsticks in the chat. I'm going to go over all these. I'm sorry I'm behind. I apologize. I appreciate it, though. Nutcracker, appreciate the 5. Donald Trump claimed that the U.S. helped broker a ceasefire between India and Pakistan following a period of military strikes in May 2025. Nutcracker, appreciate it for the 5 again. However, India has disputed this claim, stating that the ceasefire was achieved through direct talks between the Indian and Pakistani militaries. Appreciated Nutcracker for the 5. Wells, appreciated the guest is from Canada and never voted last year. That was from a previous one. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ronan, appreciate it for the 20 over there. We got 20 in the kick pool. Not the last guy, the one before him. Ronan, appreciate it for the 20. Thank you. Could we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Ronan? Appreciate it. Yum, appreciate it for the 5. This style of questioning is needing. This style of questioning is needed when we face the intentional spread of lies. Yum, appreciate it. Thank you. Clarifying questions are a MFer for people that are just literally,
Obtuse.
Photo Nerd, appreciate it. Thank you for the sub. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll add that in there. We got 3 out of 30 subs on the night. If you guys want to support the channel, you can sub over on TikTok. It's pretty easy. You can click up here. It says sub, and then it's like 2 buttons on your phone. But if you guys want to sub that way, would appreciate it. Alternatively, over on YouTube or Patreon, where you can watch the playbacks on Patreon or YouTube if you're tier 2 for the night live. If you guys want to support that way, would appreciate it. Trying to keep the live going, making a bunch of different changes to everything, pumping out content, and yeah. But we're at 3 out of the 30 subs. You guys can gift subs if you want. I'll add those in. And if you guys want to debate, go ahead and hop on in the box. Would appreciate it. I've just been getting a bunch of clips and stuff. That's been the primary focus. Really need to get those going, so we're working on that.
All right.
Whole deal. Whole deal.
War chick says, check
Whole
Venmo.
deal.
Okay. Nothing, you fucking liar. I'm kidding. Anybody else want to come on in?
I'm sorry, just a second. I'm live on that phone over there, so I can draw on some viewers from my main account. So I'm sorry if you send anything over there. I appreciate it.
I gotta do my dating show again. It's been like a month.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Amy, appreciate it for the 10 over on Venmo. Did you see the women? You see women are being sterilized in ICE detention centers without consent. Also, the U.S. Steel deal that includes the president. I did not see about that, Amy. Is that like something that's happening again? Because there was some concerns about that previously. Is that happening again now? Moorific, appreciate the gifted sub. Thank you. Or is that a regular sub? Appreciate it for subbing over there. Appreciate it. I'll add that into the sub goal. Sorry I'm bouncing between accounts. I apologize. If you guys want to support, you got 5 out of 30. That actually counts for 2 over on TikTok, so appreciate it. Bouncing between accounts. The other one got suspended, and I'm trying to get one of them. Not sure which one it's going to be yet on to get hooked into an agency so that we don't have the issues that we did. Nutcracker, again, appreciate it for the 30 for the kick. Peace through strength. I thought he doesn't need any of that. Whatever happened to that? I thought he doesn't need that. By the way, I got a little bit of feedback, Jaden. I got a little bit of feedback from you. Can you mute? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure what caused it, but I was pulling clips the other day, and I heard it in there, and there was one live in particular where it was really bad. Most of the time, you can't really hear it, but it kind of throws me off a little bit. I don't know what caused it on your end, but...
Better?
They're too scared? I know, Mega is scared. That's because I'm debate daddy. All right? Horde Chick, again, appreciate it for the 10 over there. Brooke, appreciate it. Brooke, appreciate it for the gotcha $1. Been doing that for like 3 years now. Gotcha $1. They're scared. They're so scared. But if you guys are over on TikTok, want to double tap the screen, comment, interact, help us out with the gift goal over there. Help boost it out to some people. Get it out on the For You page. If you guys want to watch over on YouTube, on the YouTube short side, would appreciate it. We're trying to build that out over there. So yeah. I do need to put in the same filters and stuff. I'm not Mrs. Bob Bully. Hold on.
Please. So, how's everybody doing today?
Is Corey in here, by the way? Corey, can you check Insta? If you're in here, I don't know if Corey's in here.
Thanks for the dollar.
Do you think Trump will rewrite Obama's deal? Do you think Trump will rewrite Obama's deal and put his name on it?
Probably.
Not really, because what would? He's going to try. Biden tried to rejoin the deal for a while, and talks just stalled. Iran had no real want to do it. They still don't have any want to do it. So, hold on 1 second. Do not start the debate. Appreciate it. All right, runs. What's going on? What's your take?
Jaden's a dingleberry.
Don't be scared.
Jaden's a
Oh, yeah,
dingleberry.
this guy I invited. What'd you say in the comments?
I said, shut up.
Shut up, Jaden.
Dingleberry.
All right. Dingleberry? I know I'm attractive, but like you can come out and say it. I'll spit your mouth. Hell, I'll pin you down. I'll make your eyes widen as I go inside and listen. It'll be a very exhilarating experience, okay? That's okay if you're into
You're about
that,
to
but
get-
like
you're
what
about
you're
to
doing
get-
right now is doing something for me. The way you're talking nasty to me, the way you're degrading me. I hope you know I'm into that. So we can take this private.
I'm only 15.
Just be open. What? No, you're not.
Ah, fetus.
He's not
No, it's
15.
not. No, but definitely blocked.
Oh yeah.
If you're debating, hop on in the box. Would appreciate it. If you're not, please hop out. You can delete that. I was really hoping for a debate. I actually got a bunch of them, by the way. Beat it, beat us.
Next.
Anyways, yeah, if you guys want to debate, hop on in the box. Would appreciate it. If you're over on YouTube, hit that like button. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Stay a while. We're trying to boost the live out. There will be more content coming over onto News Dude. I'm just front loading a bunch of debates. I got to go through a bunch of stuff and it should be okay. Anyway,
Alright.
what do we all got going on? How's everyone's day going? It's been chaotic for me. Everything that went wrong, that could go wrong, went wrong. You know?
Yeah.
So there's that. I did get a haircut. It's pretty rough right now. Ugh. So there's that. Daddy Trump loves you. Why do they call it? It's so weird. Nutcracker, appreciate the 5. Thank you, Nutcracker. Could we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Nutcracker with the 5 gifted? We have 10 out of the 30 on the night. Do appreciate it, Nutcracker. We haven't really been hitting the sub goal, so I do appreciate it. Gotta pump it up and hit the sub goal.
Pump up the jam while the beat is pumping.
Pump up the
How does
jam.
that song go? Bump, 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 bump. Man, that song's old. Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stomping and the jam is pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, hey, joined.
What do we got going on?
You say Daddy Trump is our
Brad
daddy,
joined.
right? Does that mean he's gonna sexually assault me?
Wait 1 second.
Oh.
He left.
Ooh, a song.
Hey, Brad, can you turn that off, please? Oh, he left. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, well. The court blocked a law. We could get in the news.
Yes, I've got.
You got news already, right?
Yeah, let me pull up the
So
tabs.
next week, I really want to focus on that. So we're gonna have we talked about it this morning a little bit. I was
Yeah.
really tired, but yeah.
Let me pull up our
Pump
stories
up the
here.
jam, up the jam.
There's one. Okay, we got about 6 or 7 stories to cover here. Almost there. We're gonna start with the most batshit insane one, at least in my opinion. Let's see, where's that one? Where is it? That'll be okay. Good. This one, just a second here, almost done. All right.
Do you wanna do the news clips and then we'll talk about them? I didn't get sent them, so
Yeah.
we don't have to do them today.
I got him.
But
I meant to do
Okay.
that.
I didn't get sent the news.
Yeah.
So that's all right. That's okay. We'll do it this one, then going forward we'll start recording.
So, this one is the batshit crazy one that I'm going to start off with. Donald Trump on Friday called for the appointment of a special prosecutor to investigate the 2020 election won by Democrat Joe Biden, repeating his baseless claim that the contest was marred by widespread voter fraud, reading, quote, Biden was grossly incompetent and the 2020 election was a total fraud, Trump said in a social media post in which he also sought to favorably contrast his immigration enforcement approach with that of the former president. A quote reading, the evidence is massive and overwhelming. A special prosecutor must be appointed. This cannot be allowed to happen again in the United States of America. Let's let the work begin. Trump's post, made by his Republican White House, is consumed by largely substantial foreign policy decision on whether to get directly involved in the Israel-Iran war, in part of the amped-up effort by him to undermine the legitimacy of Biden's presidency. Earlier this month, Trump directed his administration to investigate Biden's action as president, alleging that aides masked the president's, quote, cognitive decline. Biden has dismissed the investigation as a mere distraction. The Post also revives a long-running grievance by Trump that the election was stolen, even though courts around the country and the Trump attorney general from his first term found no evidence of fraud that could have affected the outcome. The Department of Homeland Security's cybersecurity arm pronounced the election, quote, the most secure in American history. We have a few court rulings coming out of today. Court blocks Louisiana law requiring schools to post 10 commandments in the classrooms. A panel of 3 federal appellate judges has ruled that a Louisiana court requiring the 10 commandments to be posted in each of the state's public school classrooms is unconstitutional. The ruling Friday marked a major win for civil liberty groups who say the mandate violates the separation of church and state and that the poster-sized displays would isolate students, especially those who are not Christian. The mandate has been touted by Republicans, including President Donald Trump, and marks one of the latest pushes by conservatives to incorporate religion into classrooms. Backer of the law argued the 10 Commandments belong in classrooms because they are historical and part of the foundation of U.S. law. Another case here coming out. Colombia protester Mohammad Khalil freed from immigration detention. Palestinian activist Mohammad Khalil was released Friday from federal immigration detention, freed after 104 days by a judge's ruling after becoming a symbol of President Donald Trump's clampdown on campus protests. The former Columbia University graduate student left a federal facility in Louisiana on Friday. He is expected to head to New York to reunite with his U.S. citizen wife and infant son, born while Khalil was detained. Justice prevailed, but is long overdue, he said, outside the facility in a remote part of Louisiana. This shouldn't have taken 3 months. The Trump administration is seeking to deport Khalil over his role in pro-Palestinian protest. He was detained on March 8th at his apartment building in Manhattan. Judge halts Trump effort to block Harvard from hosting international students. This is the latest following his recent spat in the effort of trying to block students who participate in protests from being granted any kind of housing there. Federal judge on Friday granted a preliminary injunction blocking the Trump administration's effort to keep Harvard University from hosting international students. The order from the U.S. District Judge Allison Burroughs preserves the ability of Harvard to host foreign students while the case is decided. It marks another victory for the Ivy League school as it challenges multiple government sanctions amid a battle with the White House. Here's another one here. Appeals court lets Trump keep control of the National Guard troops deployed to Los Angeles. An appeals court on Thursday allowed President Trump to keep control of the National Guard troops as he deployed to Los Angeles following protests over immigration raids. The decision halts a ruling from a lower court who found Trump acted illegally when he activated the soldiers over the opposition from current governor of California, Gavin Newsom. The deployment was the first by a president of state National Guard without the government's permission since 1965. In its decision, a three-judge panel on the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously concluded it was likely Trump lawfully exercised his authority in federalizing control of the Guard. It said that while presidents don't have unfettered control to seize control of a state's Guard, the Trump administration had presented enough evidence to show it had a defensible rationale for doing so, citing violent acts by protesters. And last story here. Oh, screen's blacking out. There we go. Roughly 16 billion passwords have leaked online, including from Google, Facebook, and Apple. Many questions remain about these leaked credentials, including whose hands the login credentials are in now. Researchers at cybersecurity outlet Cyber News say billions of login credentials have been leaked and compiled into a database online, giving criminals unprecedented access to accounts consumers use each day. According to a report published this week, Cyber News researchers have recently discovered 30 exposed data sets that each contain a vast amount of login information. amounting to a total of 16 billion compromised credentials. That includes user passwords for a range of popular platforms, including Google, Facebook, and Apple. 16 billion is roughly double the amount of people on Earth today, signaling the impacted consumers may have credentials for more. Cyber News notes that there are most certainly duplicates in the data, and so it's, quote, impossible to tell how many people or accounts were actually exposed. It's also important to note that the leaked login information doesn't span from a single source, such as one breach targeting a company. Instead, it appears that the data was stolen through multiple events over time and then compiled and briefly exposed publicly, which is when Cyber News reports that its researchers discovered it. And that's all the major news that I've got today.
Well, fun.
Yeah, neat.
Neato, gang.
Yeah.
Oh, for yourself? Well, that's fun. I think in the future we're going to do, like, I don't know, probably a full segment on that. So just read off the news and then we'll talk about it. But I want to figure a way to make it into like a full-size video, full-length video. So.
Okay.
Anyway, hope everyone's having a good day. Not a lot going on right now. The goal right now, by the way, is to get the YouTube short side up over there. And get some more viewership over there. Which, it kind of sucks because, like, trying to get, like, the easiest thing for me to do would be to move people over from YouTube and just, like, raid my own channel.
Yeah.
Problem is, I'm not monetized on the other one. So, or go live on just that account over the weekend. But I'm not. So, I'm just going to run it. I asked Pickles if he could raid me at some point when he has a bunch of people in there. So.
Anyone else?
Asinine? I don't think Asinine's debating.
All right. Well.
And yeah.
Do you want to talk about any of those stories?
The 2020 election shit is fucking deranged.
Yeah. Why are no Republicans checking him on that?
Yeah. Nutcracker, appreciate it. I got the Grinder app mixed up with the Pizza Hut app. Either way, there's a 10-inch vegetarian on the way, and I'm not sure what to expect. Nutcracker, appreciate the 5. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to have TTS going. I think I can filter them, which might be needed. We have 10 out of 30 subs on the night. We did get a whole bunch of, we did get some debates, which is nice, which is what I need.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to hop in and ask? Anything like that? Yeah, it's interesting to me. I mean, they just have not given up on the 2020 shit. It's really pathetic at this point. You know what I mean?
I feel like he's
like, I
gonna
thought Donald
compel-
Trump, like, and I was told.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
I feel like he's going to
I
compel
was told he was
he's going to
gonna
compel
release a bunch of stuff.
Fucking hell. I feel like he's going to compel a special prosecutor to come out and unequivocally say that the election was rigged.
Probably with no evidence, but we were told, like, how many times have you been told in this life? Well, he's going to release it.
Yep.
So he didn't ever had it. Did any of those people ever come back? No.
No.
I don't think Robert here is debating. Oh, but yeah, we did have questions. I did say open to questions. Sorry, I didn't mean to cancel that. If you want to rejoin, if you have questions or anything like that, go ahead and hop back in. My bad. My bad. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. That's me.
Yeah. It'd be funny if it was Robert Herr.
Yeah. Let's see. All right.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Hi, there, friendly. I just
Yeah,
have
what's going on?
I got a quick question for you.
So,
Stephen
Hmm.
Miller said that they were looking into habeas corpus,
mm-hmm.
and then that kind of went away. People just kind of forgot about it. But hasn't that just already de facto happened? Like, with it just kind of slipped under the radar. Like people with no due process and going after El Salvador, it already is, right? Am I wrong?
More or less.
Yeah, yeah, more or less. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, usually habeas corpus. Yeah, I mean it would be,
Jesus, things slipped
but
away
yeah.
fast, man. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm just kind of like I kind of expected, all empires fall, but I didn't think it would. I thought it would take a little bit longer. That's all. So
We did too.
Maybe Katie can explain. Katie's a lawyer. She would know habeas corpus better than I do.
yeah.
I mean, because technically, I mean, right? There, habeas corpus has to do with like where's the person.
And they can just hold you forever. And I mean, it seems like people are taking it because it's not on U.S. soil. They're going off to a foreign death camp because it's a death camp if you can never get out. So I don't know. It just feels like a lot of
Yeah,
it
that's
kind
been
of
the
glossed over.
that's yeah, that was how the Bush administration got around it. Was because they kept people on foreign soil.
Right.
And like this is the thing that's stupid about the American legal system is like every so often something comes up where judges are like, "Man, we can bend the rules." This, you know what I mean? Like in that instance, it was very clear, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any like gray area. They should have been charged and prosecuted. Um, the fact that they didn't, I have no idea why.
It's
Um,
frustrating because it feels like we're through the looking glass here. Like last year or so, I listened to a TikToker who was interviewing her dad, who was a CIA operative, and she said, "What do you think is going to be the end of civilization?" And he answered, "Sophistry." And
Mm-hmm.
when I hear people say um, things that are just like it doesn't have to sound logical or real as dumb wins. Like when Stephen Miller again, the worm, said that the Supreme Court ruling was actually in our favor. No, and the
Right.
press just sat there and said nothing. It, uh, I went to journalism school, and my journalism professors would be just spinning their graves. You could hook them up to a turbine. Anyway, um, thanks, guys. I thought I was not in touch with reality, but unfortunately, I think I am. But anyway, you can drop me. Thanks a lot.
all right,
All right.
And by the way,
appreciate
love
it.
your show. I always watch.
Nice.
Nice, appreciate it.
Take care.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yum, appreciate it. It was predicted in 2024 if Trump won, there would be a global war in 7 years. Not looking unlikely.
Yeah. Amy, thank you for the
Right
10.
on time.
It's the first day of summer. Apparently.
Yeah, and it's not
It's not hot as shit.
warm
I know.
here. No, it's weird
I
because this
kind of
is
like it.
this is go time. It's been yeah, I mean it's been warm all through May. It's been warm all through May,
Yeah.
even through April, and then now it's just like now it's gonna rain, which I'm fine with because like in Seattle we have wildfires, so like if it rains
Mm-hmm.
intermittently, sorry, we don't get the wildfires, which means we don't get the smoke, which means I don't sit here coughing my fucking lungs up. So
Guess how hot it is tomorrow over
there's
here.
that. Hmm.
Guess.
I mean, I don't know. What?
Take a stab.
75.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, hey, it's probably hotter here.
Yeah, 75 with a low of 57.
Nope, gonna be 61 and raining tomorrow. That's tragic. I have baby K too. Tragic.
Honestly,
70 on Sunday.
It'd be nice to have a summer that's not hot as balls, waking up stuck to the mattress and shit. basically wearing a loincloth around the place. Be nice, you know, downing every single fucking popsicle for the sake of a 3-minute relief from the heat.
Yeah, few second release even.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys are over on YouTube, I am going to put in TTS at some point.
I used to love summer as a kid. Now I can't stand it.
Oh, it's terrible. And
It's worse.
especially, you know, we've experienced up here in the Pacific Northwest climate change to a shocking degree.
Yeah.
It is interesting to me because like there are people that are older than I that don't believe in climate change that live here. I'm old enough to remember that summers were not like this at all. They really weren't. And you know, we would like average summer would be like 70 to 75. That was the average the whole summer. And you would get 2 weeks. You would get 2 weeks of rain, intermittently. It's usually like a 2-week span of rain somewhere in the summer. We almost never had burn bans. It was almost unheard of to have a burn ban. It was very, very rare when I was a kid to have a burn ban. Just didn't happen because you'd get that 2 weeks of rain or whatever in the middle of the summer and soak up, and then everything would be great, and you can have fires, whatever. Now, every year there's a burn ban. Last year, I don't think there was at a certain point because it rained so much. Most of the summer, though, no, burn bans.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, what is it? With the weather we usually get, an average is probably about 80, 85, 10 degrees or so hotter. Plus, it's not unusual. The hottest day when I was a kid was 96 degrees. And it beat the record by 4 degrees. It beat the record by 4 degrees. And because I remember when I was a kid, I think 92, and then a few years later it hit 96 for one day. About 10 years ago, we had a summer of 76 days without rain. And every single day, I mean, it was like a tinderbox. Every single day was 90 plus degrees. It was unreal. I don't think it dropped below 85. It was 90 plus degrees. And we had a stretch there where it was just like a month of 90 plus weather. And it was hot and humid, and it was unbearable to be outside. And that's the way, like, by the way, when you get like a heat wave in Seattle, it's bad because there's a lot of moisture and it usually doesn't go away.
Yep.
But no, it's just weird to me that nobody, like all these older people, are just like, oh, I don't even know what you mean.
We're fine with this.
No, this is when I was a kid growing up. This is not something we experienced.
Hottest day on record here
It was weird. It
was
would be like
125.
75. Oh, we came close.
Yep. It was hell.
We hit 120. We hit 120. It varied throughout the Pacific Northwest. I think on the east side, I think it was hotter. I don't remember though, but it was 120 degrees in Seattle. We broke the record like 20 fucking degrees. It was 115, 100, or I think it was 115, 117, then the final day was 118, but it varied based on where you were. So, comparing America to fascism as rage bait, you can join. I know you won't.
They never do.
Content creators. This person debating? Let me see.
Yellow.
Yo,
Cage, are you debating?
yo, what's up, man?
How's it going?
What's up? Are you debating?
What?
Debating?
Are you debating?
Yeah, what's up, man? How do you feel about Iran right now?
Okay.
Iran.
Iran.
All right, give me 1 second.
Iran.
I'm just starting up the thing. Hold on a second. Wait one second. All right, what is...
What's up?
What?
What?
All right, what's going on? What's your take?
On Iran?
Iran, yeah.
Sorry, your microphone is really bad.
Give me a sec.
Nutcracker, appreciate it. Thank you. Did you see Japan canceled a meeting with the U.S. over Trump demanding that Japan increase their defense spending by an additional 3.5%? Yeah, I would. Nutcracker, appreciate the 5. Can you get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Nutcracker? Yeah, they should have.
Yeah, what's up?
So what's going on?
How do you feel about Iran?
Yeah, what's your take?
I think we should bomb them.
And what
What about you?
I think we
happened
should
to no
protect
new
innocent
wars?
life,
Which innocent life?
What happened to no new wars?
Iranian civilians.
Who said anything about civilians?
Well, did you? I mean, the fact that you're
didn't say it.
questioning me on this.
I
I
didn't say
mean,
anything about
obviously, if I'm saying innocent life, it's inferred we're talking about civilians, right?
Right. So when did I say civilians?
When did you say that you weren't going to
What do
target
you-
So what was Trump talking about targeting?
Iran? He never
Yeah, but
specified whether
where?
or not.
What do
He never
you think-
specified citizens or not.
No, he didn't talk about their nukes.
What is he? What do you think happens in war?
I know what happens in war. You don't.
Well, civilians die, right?
Well, okay.
Why is this even contestable?
what-
All
what
I
do you
said
think
was
about
I think
Iran?
we should protect civilian life, and somehow there's a pushback on that. You should just automatically agree. What the fuck?
Sure.
What's your issue with that?
I didn't say there was an issue with that.
Okay, you had a problem with me bringing that up. It should be a no-brainer. We should be
I
protecting
told you
innocent
what
life.
I asked you. What about civilian life? That's all I said.
This shouldn't even be a question. They should be protected, point blank.
Okay. So what's your take? We should just leave it alone.
Leave civilians alone. Leave
What should we-
civilian infrastructure alone.
What about
guarantee a
what about
humanitarian process and aid and asylum process.
what about anything else? Any more?
What about
takes?
anything
That's it?
else? What are you referring to?
Is that your only take on Iran right now?
Iran.
Why do you care so much
Iran.
about these people? You guys give a fuck so much about people who hate us. That's so
Civilians?
it's so ridiculous how much you guys try to protect people who fucking hate
They
us.
haven't done anything. I said civilians.
They
That's all
haven't
I've
done it.
specified.
Iran hasn't
mean,
done anything.
To be fair,
Really?
do they not have justification? You just said bomb their country
Did
and
I?
killed civilians. So I would
Yes.
say that, yeah.
Or did I say they're nukes?
So you literally said that we should bomb them.
or did
You said that we should.
or did I
bomb
say
them.
they're nukes?
But I mean,
No.
you're talking about. Look at the U.S. track record in Iraq, in Afghanistan. If you're a civilian in Iran, you better believe you should feel in danger.
Actually, those are really the
And
only
you're telling
places as of
me that
lately-
we should bomb them.
Actually, those are the only.
I was
places-
talking,
Go
but
ahead.
you're saying
Go
that
ahead.
you're saying that we should bomb them, and you're like, how could they hate
They're
us?
nukes,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you're saying we should bomb
They're
them.
nukes. Yeah,
They don't have nukes. Number
they
one.
don't.
But no.
Oh, are they trying to make one?
Yeah.
Oh. So why not? Let's bomb that. Why not?
Because it won't stop them.
Oh,
It
are
won't
you
stop
sure
'em.
about that?
Yeah.
How do you know that? What?
Yep.
So if they do that,
Because there's been numerous different reports that have come out from international experts outlining that even if we were to attack it, they could just rebuild it.
yeah, and then we'll bomb that too. What do you mean?
They'll just keep doing it.
Well,
And by the
well
way,
then-
don't they have out of country?
Well, then
don't they have
well, then-
out of country?
Well, then if that's the case,
nuclear
well, then
labs?
if that's
They
the
do.
case, if it keeps happening, then we will pursue more than that. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
You're going to invade, then just prove my point. You're telling me that
Take out their
they
soldiers.
hate us.
Yeah,
It's
take out
probably
their
because of
soldiers,
logic
yeah.
like that.
Take out their soldiers. Why not? Yeah.
Why? Some guy? Why? Some guy? Why?
Why? Because there's
some guy
why?
that just
Because
joined
they're
the fucking
screaming
army to
death to
pay.
America. They hate it.
Wait, bro.
do you mean, why?
Hey, stop talking.
What?
Yeah,
Well,
and
you're
you're
screaming
literally
bomb them.
you're the one talking about blowing.
They're
You're
nukes up.
screaming bomb
Yes. How many
them.
times?
You're not any
I'm not saying
better.
nothing about civilians. What do you mean?
Bro, listen. You need to calm down. Allow me to talk. Appreciate
Go ahead,
it.
but stop putting words in my mouth, though.
You're talking about bombing. Listen, you're talking about bombing the fucking janitor at this fucking facility. He's got kids. And he's just there for a job. You're talking about taking out their soldiers that joined it so they could have a job.
You're
And
talking.
taking them from their family and destroying lives over something that Donald Trump made sure happened. Donald Trump is the reason we're even having this conversation.
Oh, they haven't
And
hated
the
us
fact
forever?
that you're relying on him to solve it is crazy.
They-
No,
listen,
he's the
listen.
reason that they have nuke. He's the reason that they're this close to having nukes. He is the reason.
Really?
The singular reason.
So they just started hating us.
Yes,
right?
he backed out of
They
the
just
Iranian
recently-
nuclear
they
deal.
just recently started hating us, right? recently.
If you can't listen, man, if you can't see why countries in the Middle East hate us, there's something profoundly wrong with you.
I know why they hate us. Do you?
Could you think why maybe countries in the Middle East hate America? Could you
I
maybe
know
could you
exactly.
put yourself in their
I
perspective?
know exactly why they hate us. Do you?
Awesome. Why?
Do you? Hold on. Do you?
Why?
Hold on. Look,
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. But do you?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know why?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give my answer, and then I want to hear your answer. Okay.
Calm down, okay? It's Friday.
And yours is going to be real
Cool.
not great. I
Real
can
not
tell this is
great.
going to be
What do
good.
you mean?
Go ahead.
What do you mean? Well, all we've ever done was try to push our ideologies on them, and all they're doing is standing up for themselves. And that's the short answer. What's your answer? Let me hear your answer.
No, the long answer is we go into every. No, the long answer is that we've gone. It's not even a long answer. We go into their countries. We bomb them with impunity. We take people out just because we've determined it. We literally disrupt countries. We overthrow entire governments. We partitioned out the Middle East in a terrible way, by the way. So yeah, and also Palestine, that's a big one. We exert financial control over all of them. We've sanctioned Iran to the point that it's killed innocent civilians. We literally started a famine in Afghanistan and Yemen. We literally, by the way, we tried to uphold al-Assad, right, thinking that he was going to be good. That didn't work. We've overthrown and funded the overthrow of the Syrian government, which for Iran's perspective, they didn't want to have happen. We literally have had our hand in every single situation in the Middle East, and we bombed and invaded countries with impunity and just pretend like, oh well, no. So yeah, when you look at them, when you look at what the United States has done,
that's funny.
You guys think that like so. Listen for a second. Listen for a second. When you listen, hold on. When you see the American flag fly, it gives you a sense of America, we're together, we're a nation. You know what they see when they see an American flag fly?
Yeah.
They see their fucking kids getting killed by American-made bombs.
Okay.
They see the overthrow of their governments. They see the starvation.
And let me get.
We don't see it. We absolved. You know most of the deaths in Iraq were from starvation.
Okay.
We've removed ourselves from that.
Okay. Wait.
They are affected by our policies, and regardless of what the government, because I don't support the government, whatever. But the one thing that people in the Middle East have that makes sense against the United States is a vast hatred for the way that we operate with impunity globally,
Okay,
and use our military to silence anyone that speaks out against us.
We're bad guys, they're good guys, right? Is that what you're saying? Essentially, is that what you're saying?
No, two things can be true at the same time.
There you go. Right. So,
Like, you can say whatever you want. Listen, you can say whatever you want about Osama bin Laden. He's an evil person. Don't disagree whatsoever, right? But two things. One, the United States created him. The United States created the global war on terror and then had to go fix it. And he is 100% right in his grievances against the United States.
right.
That's just a fact. I don't agree with him. I don't like what he did. Nobody should, right?
Yep.
He's obviously an evil person, but his grievances against the United States were 100% legitimate.
Right.
And one of the things he talked about the most was Israel-Palestine.
Okay, and now guess what? And now today, you are technically saying, hey, we've been hating them. They've been hating us for years, for decades. Now that they're thinking about making a nuke, we should leave them alone now. Let's just leave it alone now. Even though they scream death to America, threats, leave them alone now. Let's just leave them alone. What? What the fuck are you talking about?
What would you have us do?
You're literally
What would you
contradicting
have us
yourself
do?
right now. You're basically.
What would you have us do?
I
I'm not
just told you.
contradicting
I
myself.
repeated-
What would you have
I
us
just
do?
told you. I repeated it as soon as I got on, over and over. What do you mean?
The chance to stop them has already... Listen, the chance to stop them's already passed. That's not what this is about.
When was there
You
a
don't
chance
understand.
to stop any of
These
that?
Republicans, listen. There was a chance
When?
years ago to
When?
stop it. There was a
When?
chance to prevent
When?
it, and we didn't do
When?
it. During the original deal.
Under
deal,
who? When?
there was a chance to stop them.
Under who and when?
Under Obama, the original
Oh,
Iranian
Obama, who also struck him
Iranian
too?
nuclear deal.
What? Obama, who also a war criminal too? What are you talking about? What? What are you?
I agree.
No, what are you
What does that have
talking
to do
about?
with the deal he signed with Iran?
Oh my God, bro.
This is posturing.
Bro, listen.
This is
But
posturing.
as much as you claim that we simp for Putin, you are simping to Iran right now. Literally, right now.
This is
You're saying
posturing.
leave him alone. Leave him alone. What? Like, bro, whose side are you?
This is
Whose
posturing.
side are you really on, bro? Your whole Democrat side.
What are you
whose
saying we
side
should
are you
do?
on, bro?
Bro, what are you saying we should do?
Jesus Christ, bro.
So
Get
no
it
one
through.
is
I'm gonna say
suggesting
this
we
for
do
the
nothing.
17th time already.
No, don't speak.
We should.
No one is saying that we should do nothing, okay? The argument here has been that we need to exercise diplomacy and seek some kind of agreement, such as the one that was on par a few years ago that prevented this from happening in the first place. Donald Trump is not for de-escalation in any case or way, sense, or form. Advocating and finalizing a strike on Iran is not going to do away with proxy groups, is not going to do away with the immediate threat right now, which is nukes. Anyways, I'm ironing my shirt.
Right, but at the same time, you also let them build nukes and let them scream death to America.
Let
At
them
the
build
same
nukes.
time, now leave
What
them
allowed them to
alone.
build nukes?
Which one is it?
Who
Should
let
we
them
leave?
build
Okay,
nukes?
okay. Let me ask. Let me
The
ask you.
Trump administration is literally talking about dropping a nuke on them.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me
So
ask
I
you
think
something.
that they have real
Actually,
concerns.
he said bunker buster over and over. I don't know how many times you have to read that in the news. Bunker buster. Okay.
No, that's not what happened.
Second of all,
No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Nope. That was being talked
Don't
about,
believe
and it
every
was being
single
talked
news
about
channel
pretty
in
widely,
America.
and it was brought up. No, it's not. Caroline Leavitt said it. They said that no options are off the table. That's what the Trump administration said, because they were asking. They said, well, you're not going to use nukes and whatever. And they said, no option is off the table. That's per the Trump administration. That's not news. That's Caroline Leavitt.
And you know what else is hypocrisy? The whole time, you guys, the other countries are laughing at us. They laugh at Trump. They make him a laughing stock. Oh, okay. But when he wants to do something, no, don't do nothing. Like, bro, you guys are fucking all hypocrites.
What is he
bro.
talking about?
All hypocrites. Oh, they're
What are you
laughing
talking
at.
about?
They laugh at Trump all day. Kim Jong Un. Everybody. They all laugh at him because he's a laughing stock. Oh, but soon as he wants to do something, because they're making threats on us, now it's leave them alone. Don't do it, Trump. No, stay out of
pretty
it.
unusable
You guys are just hypocrites, bro. Everything you guys ever say.
Hey, stop talking for a
what?
second. How is that hypocrisy?
How is what? What? Saying
What you
that
just
Trump?
described.
Saying that first of all. Saying
Yeah,
that
that's
first
not
of all.
hypocrisy.
I'm drawing it out for you right now.
Wait,
First,
but
you guys say
hypocrisy would be saying that we hold a position that is separate from ourselves. That's not.
no. You literally say
That is what
Trump is a
hypocrisy
laughing
is.
stock to all these other countries. You
Yeah,
guys
that's
all
not
say the same
hypocrisy.
shit.
It's irony.
Hold on.
It's not hypocrisy.
No. Okay,
You're describing irony. That's not
let me finish.
hypocritical.
But then when he wants to do something, when he wants to say, hey, these people are screaming death to America and they're talking about building a nuke, and he wants to do something, now it's, no, Trump, don't do it. Which one is it? Does he want the smoke, or is he a laughing stock? Which one is it? Are they laughing at us because we're weak?
That's,
or
again,
is
not
Trump moving with the
hypocrisy.
iron fucking fist? Which one
So
is
they
it?
see both. They see him as an unstable
It's
both.
reactor.
Yeah, make that make
well,
sense.
I can
Go
make that
ahead.
argument. Yeah,
Make that make sense.
Let me speak.
Make that
Can
make
you
sense. That it's
stop being
both.
so emotional for a second. They
Go
can
ahead.
see him on. They can see him as being an unserious actor as it relates to trade policy, as it relates to domestic policy, as it relates to a different an assortment of other things.
Everything
As
else
it
but
relates to his
war, huh?
military capacity, they see him as an unstable
You're a
actor
joke,
because
bro.
of the fact that they have a what?
You guys are
I'm trying to
fucking
answer your
jokes,
question. All right.
I'm good. If you're debating hop in the box, I'd rather not. It's like impossible. I'm gonna be honest. I zoned out like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I started ironing my shirt. I'm going out
He
tonight.
just keeps yapping.
Yep. I'm gonna call it for now.
Going out tonight?
Yeah.
Nice.
Gonna support the
okay.
dolls for Pride Month. So
Okay. Well,
take care. See you later.
all
You
right.
going live this weekend?
Take care, Jaden. I want to go live on Sunday, but I have so much to do. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm being
Okay.
honest with you. I've been like, yeah, I was going to go live on Sunday. I was going to do an extra live, but I don't know that I can do it.
No problem.
We're going to see.
All right. See you
I
around.
have so much to do. Yeah. And a full day to do it in would really help. Really help. So, anyway, you guys are debating. You can 1v1 me. You know? Kathy, I don't think meant to join. You can 1v1 me. We're here. It's what it is. Trump was laughed at the G7, but turns out he's 100% correct. Now Europe is suffering, ignoring his warnings. What the fuck are you talking about? Why did they just say stuff? They just say stuff. What was he wrong about? Can you be specific? Or what was he right about? How about you be specific? What did he say at the G7? Anyway. Peachy's in the box. Or in the thing. I don't know if Peachy wants to join. I don't see Josh or anyone else. Let's see if we can get a debate. I know I was a little bit late, so I was going to try and stay on, but only for getting debates. That last one was not. Yeah. I'll probably do I'll at least do a partial live on Sunday, I think, but I have so much to do. Like, yeah, I have a ton. You're scared because you have no argument. I literally zoned out 5 minutes after you just kept interrupting, and I was done with it. So, I was a libertarian that said that in the shorts. With Europe focusing too much on Russian oil. So, okay, I thought you meant recently, because you're actually not wrong about that. Trump did talk about Europe's reliance on Russian oil. That's one of the few things he's got right. One of the few things that he's gotten right. I actually can't complain about that because he was right. Anybody else? Any other usuals? Anything? Ah, man. By the way, if you guys are wondering where content review is, part of it is I'm trying to get set up the YouTube or the TikTok studio over there so that I can run it in the same thing, and then it'll be nice because I can go live on TikTok with the nice ass camera. It'll be good. This live is lost its edge. I never stop edging. It's true. It's true. Jaden left. He's out for the night. But by the way, they didn't laugh at Trump about that. He was laughed at the UN. I don't know what you mean they laughed at him about it, but he was right about Europe's dependence on Russian oil. He's a dumbass in most ways, but even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. What is this? Levitt never said that. Should the decision be made by 2 weeks? Where does that say that? Date, time? Yeah, I can pull it up. 1 second. One second. Right here. Nothing is off the table. Who said it? It's Newsweek not taking anything off the table. This is a so it wasn't Caroline Levitt, it was a White House official. This is reported by Fox News. The Trump administration, this is in response to them being asked about whether or not they would, or there was an implication made that they wouldn't use nuclear weapons, tactical nukes, which, by the way, fucking crazy that MAGA was so concerned about nuclear weapons and now is silent on this. The Trump administration, the Trump administration is not taking anything off the table, including the use of tactical nuclear weapons if it decides to take military action against the underground uranium facility at Fardo. Fox News reported citing a White House official. Sorry, it wasn't Caroline Leavitt, but it was a White House official. I thought it was Leavitt, but I was wrong. No, come back. End heterophobia. It's really nice of you speaking outside of your community for straight people. Anyway. He was also right that Greenland would be an important trade route in upcoming years. So, yeah. I don't think it'll be an important trade route. Not insofar as like trading from there, like place to mine or whatever, sure. Like if you want to say it'll be an important trade route for critical minerals, sure. The problem is that this is the disconnect, right? He takes, like for instance, this is something that's a very good point. Greenland, the wall of ice is receding. It's going to be more accessible. And you're going to have a lot of rare earth. We know that there's a lot of rare earth there. It's like the Saudi Arabia of rare earth. The mining potential there is huge, right? We know that. So smart decision in that regard. However, his position is also not just we need rare earth. It's also get rid of the CHIPS Act. It's also go after Taiwan. It's also attack chip production. So it's like he's operating on half of the information. Like he's like, oh, this is going to be important, but can't connect this to why. Because, yeah, it's going to be important for tech. It's going to be important for defense systems. Like it will be. Greenland will be important in the future for that. However, what also will be important is the ability to build those chips. And because that's part of the problem, right? That's two halves of the equation. You need the rare earth, you need the minerals, the foundries, the separating equipment, everything to be able to produce it. Which he's recognized, at least in some capacity, at least the rare earth is important. He has not recognized the foundries. He has not recognized the separation tech. He has not recognized the chips or the fab factories that we need. He ain't recognized any of this. So he can point to Greenland and go, well, this is going to be that. Complete the sentence. Complete the sentence. Why would we say we would take nukes off the table? Because it puts everyone on edge. It puts everyone on edge for something that's going to cause international turmoil. It's going to cause countries. You imagine what happens if nuke goes off? Like, the Republicans are sitting there the entire time the war in Ukraine's happening. Like, well, a nuke, World War III nukes could go off. They could do all this, right? And now suddenly it's like, well, if we nuke, that's fine. We could nuke. That's okay. That's totally cool. Either everyone can have nukes or no one can have them. I really think we should get rid of them. I really think that should be the fucking treaty. We don't really need them anymore. They're an old conventional weapon that only gives legitimacy, but there's other weapons that give legitimacy. This is like the ongoing thing of countries trying to get leverage. It's like when people are like, well, the leverage, they're going to have way more leverage if they have a nuke. It's reality. I really think we should get rid of nukes, though, to be honest with you. We should honestly sign those treaties. The problem is there's not really the tech yet that's going to replace it in terms of dominance, at least from other countries. Like the United States is dominant. So if nukes go away, the United States has the ultimate control. They have the ultimate amount of power, right? Nukes are an equalizer. Conventional weapon systems, the United States dominates in. China's catching up in certain regards. They're better than us in some regards, not very many. But in conventional weapon systems, they're catching up pretty rapidly. But for most other countries, that's just not feasible. It's not feasible. They're going to be behind the United States. They can cause a significant amount of damage, but you think about the AI, you think about all that stuff. Yeah. Happy Pride Month, yeah. We're still 20 subs away. We're still 20 subs away. Are we going to do it? To be honest with you, though, AI is the great equalizer. But just to point out, and I thought about this quite a bit, I talked about it somewhat. You got to think how quick the United States dominance is about to go away. Like, it's going to happen quick. China's investing a lot in tech. China's investing a lot in AI. China does not have access to the chips. They don't have access to advanced chips. But ultimately, let's say, for instance, the United States beats them out in the AI race. The United States creates and implements a viable AI greater than anything on Earth. And China's next best. It's a B. If the United States is an A+, they get a B. Think about it for a second. Who has the majority of all rare earth on the planet? China. Who is able to manufacture from every level, every point, from the manufacturing from the raw material to the fabrication of the raw material to the fabrication of the weapon systems? China. And it isn't even close. So yeah, they could have a B-level AI, right? You integrate all of this into a battlefield where everything's running on AI. The planes, the missiles, the drones, the list goes on. Evaluating, calculating, running endless scenarios. Either one of two things is going to happen. One, you end up in a stalemate where nobody wins. Nobody wins. Or B, their manufacturing capacity is so superior to ours, they can just fucking pump it out. They can pump it out. They can pump out drones, fucking missile systems. They can just pump it out. And that should be concerning for the United States on a very real level. That if they get access to more advanced chips, and to be real, in 10 years, I don't think it's going to matter anyways. I think every chip is going to provide enough processing power that it's really going to come down to AI programming. You can operate an entire battlefield, run out endless scenarios, trillions of scenarios. They truly make quantity, we do quality? Not necessarily. Not anymore. Not anymore. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd agree with that. Not anymore. China's superior in everything they do. In everything they manufacture is superior. It just is. It is. From consumer goods, like obviously you can say their military's not that great. They don't have the chips. If they had the chips. All right. Do we have any debates? Anyone want to hop in here? DeepSeek is a pretty bad AI. Well, it's interesting because DeepSeek was advanced, but there were other models that were in the works. And so now it's not rated as highly as it was. It's not rated as highly as it was. AI is a whole thing there. Nuclear weapons aren't going away in our lifetimes, unfortunately. Government's number one priority is protecting their nuclear assets, not protecting their citizens. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, though, nukes are largely going to be completely useless. I mean, they just are. Or largely useless, right? Like, for smaller nations, they make sense. But to be honest with you, there's not an ICBM in Russia's repertoire that can't be shot down. I mean, they have the new one that's a medium-range ICBM. Sure. It's not going to take very long for the United States to update and adjust and adapt. The Kinzhal missile has been shot down by a 30-year-old Patriot system. China's, the United States small missile defense system with Iron Dome in conjunction, it's 98% hit rate. It only goes up as the AI gets better. And that was years ago. I don't know what the actual rate is now. Yeah. But you talk about like drones, like drone swarms. How are you going to stop them? You're going to have millions of drones going up at once. Relatively inexpensive. With AI, they can track targets. They don't need a human. They can find targets, execute explosion, like, it's not going to be good. Oh, this Cosmo person joined. They leave. 1 second. Cosmo, what's going on? What is your debate?
What is the debate? You want to talk about what's on your screen? It says MAGA is a fascist movement.
Yeah.
Or something
That was
else.
a
You
lot
want to talk
higher
about?
pitch than I thought it was going to be.
You want to talk about military stuff, racism, what?
I mean, we could talk about MAGA being a fascist movement.
All right. So, in the United States, right? Fundamentally, we don't allow fascists to lead our country.
Well, we did.
No, we didn't. I think a lot of people don't understand presidential immunities and the power of the president.
Is this like a...
I think that's the issue.
Okay. What does that have to do with fascism?
Because leadership requires authority. You have to have some sort of semblance, some sort of authority when you're running a country, the most powerful country in the world. Right? You can't just be someone that has no authority.
Cool.
You gotta have authority.
You can have authority without being fascist.
You could. And that's what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying Trump is exactly that. He has the authority. He has the presidential immunity because he's the president of the most powerful country in the world. And he exercises his rights.
What do you think fascism is?
Authoritarianism.
What do you think fascism is? Well, it's not just authoritarianism.
Authoritarian. Well, I think that
But
has a lot to do
he
with
is
it.
an authoritarian, yeah.
Yeah, he has to be. Anybody, any billionaire, any leader, any president has to be.
No,
You
an
can't
authoritarian is not a leader. An authoritarian is not... No, an authoritarian
Quality.
has tenets, or at least things that they do, undermining the
It's
rule of
quality.
law.
You got to have
undermining
those qualities, those
law and order,
attributes
undermining...
as a leader. Like as a billionaire, for an example. You can't be a billionaire being like a jellyfish kind of dude.
Sure, whatever. But that doesn't mean that he's not fascist. Fascism is not just
We got you cutting out.
authoritarianism. Fascism
Right,
is an
the
ideological
audio.
belief rooted... Not on my end. Fascism is far-right,
Maybe it's just cutting out. Yeah, belief.
fanatical ultranationalism.
Yeah, so if it's a
What?
belief, right? It's a belief system, right? It's not
I wouldn't say
predicated off of
it's a
facts. if it's a
reactionary
core belief.
ideological... It's a reactionary ideology.
But what is he
rooted
doing?
in
What is Trump doing?
ultra-conservative beliefs.
You don't think there's an overuse of the word fascism to describe or characterize
I do
Trump?
think that it has been used pretty loosely. I do think that it has been used pretty loosely as a pejorative across all political spectrums for the last 80 or 90 years. However, in this situation, it is apt. Donald Trump is a fascist for numerous different reasons.
What reason?
One, tried to overthrow the United States government. Oh, I can get to
mean-
that, yeah. One, tried to overthrow
Back
the
up,
United
back
States
up.
government.
Back up 1 second on that one, right?
What?
That's a complicated one. What he did was he utilized the
It's really
Constitution.
not.
That's what he did. He had his staff look into
Why
certain
did
clauses.
he
within the
utilize the Constitution to break through the window? There are no clauses in the Constitution that allow him to do what he did on January 6th.
He didn't break through a window. Somebody got shot in the face. Somebody got pewed in the face when they did that and lost their pulse.
At one of the windows.
Mm-hmm. That's not cool, right? That's what happens to protesters. Nobody cares about that. Nobody
Well, it's
cares.
not, no, it's not protesting. It's not protesting. It's that she tried to get two representatives. She tried to break the last line of defense there.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Somebody that's going through.
So he attempted to overthrow the United States government. Let me get through some of these. He attempted to overthrow the United States government. He attempted to overthrow an election in which he lost, was unable to provide any evidence. So those are two of the things. One, he advocates for violence on a regular basis, direct action, direct fascist action. He believes in pretty much all of the tenets of fascism by any scholar. So things like traditionalist beliefs, the patriarchal family. He thinks that cities are run down, disgusting, and dirty, despite the fact that he lived in one forever, and that the rural America, that's where the heartland is.
He's right. He's right.
There's things like obsession with national security, that he might be a fascist too. There's obsession with national security. There's obsession with migrants or a scapegoat group, which, by the way, are frequently viewed as both superhumanly strong and subhumanly weak. There's a whole host of tenets that you can look into that will verify what I'm saying. But yes, fascism is far-right fanatical ultranationalism characterized by ultra-conservative and traditionalist beliefs. He is a Mussolini.
All the categories that you mentioned and subcategories, all of them apply to all presidents. You just characterize them as like a hyper.
What applies to what applies? So when did Obama go ahead and attack cities as being these disgusting, evil places?
In his role as
when
a
did
president,
Obama only advocate for the right? When are these people only advocating for the patriarchy or the patriarchal family, the upholding of the patriarchy? Like when are these? What president? What has Barack Obama done?
Have you ever seen Trump's family? His sons and his daughter and his kids. Have you ever watched them? Have you ever met them or seen them? Just in general, just on media. Do you view those people as like a bunch of losers and idiots? That's his family. You talk about he doesn't have an ideology.
Which family members?
His daughters, his sons, his daughters, right? They're all successful people.
I don't think. Off his back.
Well,
really, their grandfather's back.
You could still destroy that. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody is perfect, but he's raised many kids to be very successful. Off his back or not, it's still a picture of success. He kept it together. I mean, somehow he kept it together. Those kids are very successful kids. They're highly educated. They're polished.
What's your point? What does that have to do with him? The one tenet of fascism that's present in this. Hold on. The one tenet of fascism that's present in this is what's called palingenetic ultranationalism, which means national rebirth, make America great again, to return to an idealized version of America. Never existed. But people can go, well, it's bad now. It used to be good. Go back to that. And it follows extreme conservative and traditionalist beliefs. I don't know what's not clicking about him. Contrarian what?
Being negative, being a fascist. You're talking about MAGA. You're talking about everything he stands for. Before MAGA is what you characterize it right now today, it was Make America Great Again, right? The acronym, Make America Great Again, right? Before it is what it is now in your view, it was just MAGA, Make America Great Again. That was the message that he sent. People liked it. They still like it.
I know that's a fascist plea to the national. That's a fascist plea to the national rebirth. Yeah, idealized version of. Watch, I'll prove it to you. What time do they want to return to?
Nobody would disagree with Make America Great.
Really quick, what time do they want to? What time do they want to return to?
That's an individual's response. It applies to each individual. That's the beauty of it.
What time do they want to? What time do they? I know. Yes, I know. Yeah.
Right.
That's why. That's the fascist plea.
One answer. There's no one.
We're going to return to a time of national greatness. Hold on. I know. Yeah. We're going to return to a time of national greatness that we used to have, that we no longer have. They do not believe in the economic policies brought forth during the baby boom. They do not believe, and then when you bring up you want to go back to this time, they don't want the social aspects of those, or at least some of them don't. I'm assuming they do, and that's the plea. But it's ambiguous. It's vague. Anybody can take anything that they want out of it, but it is inherently a fascist plea, the plea to national rebirth. We've become not great. Let's return to a time of national greatness. And it usually coincides with economic turmoil.
It does. Yeah, it does. Everything is based upon economics, for sure. You're right about that. I think when people are making money, they complain less. right? Everybody's happier because they can afford things. They can go out to dinner. They can go on dates. They can spend money, buy gifts, whatever, go on vacations. That is true. Economics is everything. Absolutely, I agree with that. You know, even with TikTok and influencers, you know, the more money these influencers make, and the longer TikTok stays intact for them, the happier they are. Even if their messages are twisted, you know, for half the United States.
What do you think? So really quick, what do you can I? It's like I'm debating myself at this point. Can you tell me what fascism is?
Yeah, it's like an authoritarianism regime.
It's not just authoritarianism. It's an ideology that's predicated on a national rebirth and ultra-traditionalist ideas.
I think that's just an overkill. You know what I'm saying? That's just too deep. In the United States,
That's not too deep. This is the standard. This is the standard concise across all academic scholars in the field on this. National rebirth. In fact, Roger Griffin stated that you cannot have fascism without national rebirth. You cannot have fascism without the fascist plea.
Didn't you hear what Trump said the other day? He said, if I was a fascist, he said, I wouldn't have to go through all the BS that I go through. I'd get things passed. If I was a king, if I was a fascist, I'd be able to sign things in 5 seconds and not even sign things and just push it through. That's not the case. He has lots of controls and lots of restraints.
That's not true.
Yeah,
that's not true. That's a dictator. That's not a fascist.
Well, there's an analogy.
That's not a dictator. That's not a fascist. That's a dictator.
Those are the terms, the characterizations that a lot of you guys come across, non-MAGA, and it's not even MAGA. It's like just because someone is Republican doesn't necessarily mean they're your definition of MAGA. Right? I mean,
I have no idea what you're arguing at this point. What you're telling me that you're telling me that authoritarianism is fascism, which it's not. Stalin is not a fascist. He's an authoritarian.
You're telling me that fascism.
Bashar al-Assad's an authoritarian.
It's not authoritarianism.
He was not a fascist.
It is. It is what I said. It.
Fascism is not authoritarianism.
It is. It's a component.
Fascism has authoritarian aspects. Fascism does not require authoritarianism.
All right. So how is Trump a fascist?
It coincides pretty frequently.
What does he do that makes
him? I've explained this.
What does he do? What does he do that makes him a fascist?
I told you.
He
How many more times do I have to tell you?
He sends ICE out. He sends ICE out. Is that what he does? He authorizes law enforcement.
That would be so. Here's
law enforcement.
No, he actually violates the law in doing this stuff and gets shot down in court.
All right, let's talk about that.
That's the authoritarian challenge. So if you're saying that it's authoritarianism is fascism, which it's not, then he would be a fascist through authoritarianism because he is constantly challenging the rule of law and institutions, and losing.
What? Not. Oh, he's not. He's not losing. I would say he's over 50-50. He's not losing. What are you talking about? There's a lot of cases that he wins, but on that score,
he's lost like 80% of cases. He's lost. I'm just trying to get to the root of it, and you're bouncing around to a lot of stuff.
I'm jumping to immigration.
Is he a fascist or not? Can you tell me what fascism? I don't want to get on immigration. Can you tell me what fascism? You said fascism is authoritarianism, right?
I think that's a component of it. Yes, the main component and main cog to it.
What else?
That's it. To me, that's it. That's basically the gist of it.
So we can agree that. Okay, so we can agree that he's an authoritarian then.
Yes, absolutely.
He threatens violence against people that protest. Okay, so then he would be a fascist.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. He threatens violence against people that violently protest. He threatens them with.
He is an authoritarian, though. We already agreed to that, correct?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
He is an authoritarian. We already agreed to that, correct? Cool. So if that's your only characterization of a fascist, he qualifies as a fascist.
Well, a component and attribute of a fascist has to have some authoritarianism qualities. You got to have some of those attributes. A leader, just like a leader, a good leader.
So
let's say, like, who do you respect? You respect.
So he's a fascist.
You
so
respect
now,
your, right?
So now you're saying that fascism is okay.
No, I didn't say that. What I said to you is any leader, including Joe Biden, has to have some leadership qualities. To be a president, you got to have leadership.
What is authoritarianism?
You don't think
What
Joe
is
Biden
authoritarianism?
exercised authoritarianism when he hired,
Can you not hear me?
80%, 90% black female judges? You don't think that was authoritarianism?
No.
You don't think that was
No.
fascism?
What the fuck? What do you think authoritarianism is? No.
If I hired all,
No, because he
if I
hired people?
all Rainbow, if I hired a staff of Rainbow, if 90% of my staff is Rainbow, would I be considered a fascist?
No. What is authoritarianism?
I wouldn't. What would I be considered if 90% of my staff that I hired was Rainbow?
Progressive. What do you call authoritarianism? What is the definition of that?
I would be progressive. I would be progressive. Okay, that's interesting. What if 90% of my staff hired, 90% of the judges I hired were female African Americans? What
That's
if
not authoritarian.
What if
That is
86%
just you
of
hiring preferred people?
What
And
if
and by the
preferred
way,
people?
if Donald Trump hiring billionaire, yeah, whoever you prefer to be in that position, Donald Trump hired a bunch of billionaires. Does that make him a fascist for it? No.
At
Does that
best.
make it an authoritarian for it? No.
At best 10 billionaires at best. At best, as opposed to
No, like half of
100
half of his administration are no, half of his administration are billionaires.
at 10 at best billionaires. 10 at best. The rest of them are not.
Who cares?
Right? Most of them are
There's
not.
like half of his
Tulsi's not a billionaire.
administration. Do you have
Tulsi's
a
not
point
a
here? I'm
billionaire.
getting a headache.
Yeah, you have my points. You just don't like the points. You just
No,
don't like
because
the
I
points.
asked you to define authoritarianism and you're completely ignoring it.
It's the practice of extreme authority,
No.
right? Control and authority.
No, what the fuck does that even mean? What does
I don't
that
know.
even mean?
I'll be self-explanatory.
No, it's not. Why I'm
Okay.
asking.
I every time I explain something to you and you disagree with the definition, you say it makes no sense. I don't know if you don't interpret things.
You didn't give me a
properly.
definition. You said it's this,
just-
but it's self-explanatory. It's
first
not
you went
self-explanatory.
Let me just say what
Do you have a definition of fascism?
now you go into fascism, then you go to I talk about authoritarianism, then you ask me for the definition of that, then you go back.
All right. I tried. Dennis, appreciate it. Thank you for the $2. Tomorrow's the first day of summer, the summer solstice, which is also my birthday, turning 48. Dennis, appreciate it. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat for Dennis? Appreciate it. Thank you. That was a pointless debate. Completely pointless. This guy over here, Resurgence, says Trump doesn't meet your definition of fascism either. He absolutely does. Donald Trump believes in far-right fanatical ultranationalism. Make America Great Again is a fascist plea to national rebirth. It is the critical part of fascism. In fact, Roger Griffin has stated it's the only part that matters. That if this is not qualified, if this is not met, doesn't qualify. He's one scholar. But yeah, Donald Trump meets pretty much every tenet of fashion. Obsession with national security, obsession with, or what's called your fascism, stupid language. His obsession with tradition and the way things were. His obsession with masculinity and toxic masculinity and feeling strong and powerful and whatever. The attacks on veterans because they view people that get injured in war as weak, which is a fascist belief, right? That people that are on disability, Social Security, Medicare, SNAP, whatever, are a detriment to the nation and in their entirety. The belief in the, by the way, another fascist tenet, the social and economic hierarchy called class collaboration, meaning everybody collaborates together in a hierarchical way because it's beneficial for society. So we need poor people. He meets every single tenet. The othering, the attacking of marginalized and migrant groups as being the root of all of America's problems. So nationalism is the only factor to fascism. I know you didn't understand what I said. That's okay. I'll try one more time because you're learning. Nationalism is not the only factor. Palingenetic ultranationalism. That is needed. The national plea to rebirth. You have to have it. Trump meets literally every qualification from every fucking definition and academic you could pull. He hits all of them. Every single one of them. Stanley Payne, Jason Stanley, Umberto Eco, Roger Griffin. List goes on. All right. Any other debates? All right, I got some stuff to edit. Well. And by the way, saying I don't know fascism's crazy. I know it better than most subjects. Jules, appreciate it for the 5. Thank you. This guy doesn't listen to anything you say. He's just jumping around towards the kick pool. Appreciate the 5 over there. I just completed the kick pool out so I could end that because it really wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't getting it. So, Jules, appreciate it. Thank you. Nutcracker, appreciate it for the 5 from earlier. Thank you again. Appreciate it, guys. Anything else on the night? Wait, someone said they have their issues with me. What issues? I don't have issues. I'm chill. Better at this shit than Hassan, who you mentioned. It's a fact. Arrivederci. Arrivederci. Hey, we hit the 80% on the goal there. Nice, appreciate it. If you guys want to sub, please go sub over on the Patreon to support. You guys can sub over in here or over on YouTube or wherever else. So. I don't know that Paulo was being whatever. I have issues with humanity. Fair. I have people skills. I'm likable. Listen, you can say a lot about me. I haven't never aimed for being likable. Honest? Yes. Likable? No. Never, 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 never. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to head out for the night. I appreciate it. I will see you on the next one. Someone live right now. I don't want to go through it. Carbon's live. Oh, Carbon's live. Nice. I'm going to send everybody over to Carbon. Can I get one of the mods in the mod chat to... if you guys haven't checked out Carbon, go check out Carbon. I'm going to add this redirect in. And we'll raid Carbon. Carbon's back after being gone for a month. So he needs a little bit of love for the views. All right. I will raid Carbon on Twitch too. Don't forget to turn off Twitch tonight. Yeah, that was wild. That was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? All right, everyone, go ahead over to Carbon Says. If you guys supported, if you guys helped out with the gift goal, appreciate it. I got a haircut, so that's nice. He cut it a little longer than I wanted it, but whatever, I'll take it. It looks decent. Be back live 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, or 9 a.m. Pacific on Monday, and 6 p.m. Pacific Monday through Friday. It is Saturday. So everybody have or it's going to be Saturday. So everybody have a good day, and I will see you Monday. I'm going to try and go live. So I'm going to try and go live this weekend. I can't make any promises, though. I got so much stuff to do. I really do want to go live, though. Everybody, we're going to raid. I'll see you in the next one.